wake up, it's Chris in the morning light. On KAHI, your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two, with a dad joke fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee, don't hit
water.
It's
Pouring it
Chris
right now.
in the morning with your daily news.
Oh, big finish! And good Tuesday morning to you. It is March 10th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 6 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. You know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills, Chris Quant, with you here, holding it down at beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic, and very, very spacious Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn. Peering through the Venetian blinds at the daylight that was saved, and now it's dark outside still, but I'm not going to complain about that because, come on, it's a brand new day. We're going to start this day off. We're feeling good. We're feeling happy. We're feeling like, you know what, even though we went to bed at our normal time, our body was like, no, it's not 8:30. It's not 9 o'clock. It's still like 8 o'clock, and you're not going to fall asleep for another hour. Listen, I said I wasn't going to complain about it. It's daylight savings time. It is what it is. All right, move on with your life, Chris. Let's just adjust to the new time. Let's go. It was plenty of light out for my walk after I got off work last night, so that is nice. So as we're getting started on this Tuesday, March 10th, hope you're having a good day. Boy, it's early on, so there's a lot of it left, if it's not good so far, to get better there. And as we're starting today is Mario Day. This is all the research that I do, all of the stories that I'm pulling everywhere, these websites that I go to, that, hey, here's some fun facts about the day, and here's the news for the day, and everything's pointing to Mario Day. I don't remember this last year being that big of a deal, but apparently it is. Since 2016 Mario Day on March 10th, if you abbreviate March, it's MAR, and then 10th, if you squeeze them together, it seems like a little bit of a stretch, but we're going to go with it because, you know what, we just love doing some fun stuff as human beings, and we're going to look for any excuse that we can to make some fun out of whatever the date is. So if you take March, abbreviate it down to MAR, and then put the 10 right next to it, it looks like Mario is basically how we got to where we are right now. Fans decided that it would celebrate March 10th as being Mario Day because it looks like Mario if you cram it all together. And we got some fun facts around Mario here. We've got some Mario trivia because why not? Even though it is something that was around when I was a kid growing up. And it was, remember the, gather around, children, listen back to the ancient of times when the very first Nintendo system came out, back in the late 80s and then into the early 90s there. And we all gathered around this thing called a glowing orb or a television, big old CRT thing. When those things used to be a part of the furniture in your living room. I remember my grandparents had one that was basically a piece of furniture there in the middle of the living room, and then they upgraded. They upgraded to the big screen TV, and that was a big one. Wow, that was a heck of a day for all of us grandkids, seeing grandma and grandpa got the big screen TV, which I think is probably smaller than the screen size of the basic TV that I have now. But back in the day, children, it was absolutely fantastic, and we all marveled and we oohed and we awed at that. We'd sit around this glowing orb with our little controllers, which you would say are very retro now, but they were very nowtro then. And we would sit around playing the Mario Brothers, the Super Mario World, and all of that stuff. Now, my parents, my mother would hate that I'm talking about this, would not let me have a video game system. My dad was very much not a part of it and didn't want it, and I don't know, it would rot my brain or I wouldn't do anything else. So, of course, that just meant that you had to go to your friend's house, and when they got one for Christmas, I remember the neighbors across the street who had, I don't know, like 7 kids got a Nintendo for Christmas, so that was all the thing, and the neighbor kids would come over, and it was just chaos, and then you just basically end up watching somebody else play it, because it was never your turn to play anyway. But at least being a part of the Mario and Nintendo hoopla from a distance, and my neighbor right next door had relatives in Japan. So when Mario 3 came out, boy, oh boy, were we excited, because here's a bunch of 8, 9-year-olds standing around saying, ooh, wait, you have relatives in Japan. They're going to send you over an advance copy before it's ever released in America? Mario 3? That's fantastic. Ooh, we can't wait for that. We are going to be the only kids, we convinced ourselves, we are going to be the only children in the United States, on the continent, that we're going to have a copy of Mario 3 because it came out in Japan before it ever came out here in America. And we were stoked. We were imagining that the news reporters, there were going to be news trucks outside of the house. They were going to be interviewing us. We were going to be famous. This was our ticket right in to be on Johnny Carson. There was, we were the first children in America that ever played Mario 3. So we waited and we waited. We checked the mailbox. Literally, it was checking the mailbox every day. We'd go out there after school. Everybody would gather around, stand around the mailbox. He would open it up almost like a drum roll, and we all look outside, look inside of it, and oh, not today. And then we'd have to just wait. And children again gather around and hear the tales from the ancient of days, where we would have to wait for our mail that would come weeks at a time. Not this 2-day turnaround Prime thing. No. We'd have to wait. Call it snail mail for things to, especially if it was coming from another country, for it to arrive. And finally that day arrived, children. We were there. He opened up the package. He saw it there. He opened up the mailbox, saw the package there, and we all leapt for joy, saying, here it is. We are going to be famous. We're going to have the advance copy. We can tell all of our friends what Mario 3 looks like. He takes it out, and in those days, we all sat out on the grass. We all touched some grass every now and again outside of the house there in suburban Sacramento. And he opened up the package, and with bated breath, we watched the layers come off of the package. And here's another layer because it was shipped internationally, so they packed it really good. And then here comes off another layer, and we're all excited. And the final layer comes off, and he unwraps it. Oh, and everybody's faces fell, because it turns out that the cartridges in Japan are much smaller than the cartridges that are here in America. It turns out their gaming systems were not as big as the Americans' gaming system, which apparently that's a lesson between, as I'm finding talking to my son, and just stories from people who have been there, that things in Japan are maybe sometimes a little bit smaller than they are here in America. We like our things, I don't know, supersized or whatnot. And so it turns out, after all of this waiting, after all of this anticipation, no, we were not going to be the first children in America to play Mario 3. Far from it. We were going to have to wait with everybody else to see it released here for the U.S. for the cartridges that fit the consoles that we have. So at least it gave us something to look forward to and some excitement in our young little lives there, and only to be disappointed and learn the lesson that, turns out if you're chasing fame and fortune off of a video game cartridge from another country, it wasn't going to work. But anyway, happy Mario Day to you, and happy Mario Day to me. We'll have some trivia here in just a little bit around Mario, where he actually got his name from. Actually, it's kind of fun to have this trivia here. We'll play that here in just a little bit. But before we get to all that, if today is your birthday, you know we love to celebrate you here at the top of the hour. Happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a great day. If you were born today, you share a birthday with Judith Jones in 1924. Who's that? Well, you might ask. Well, it's a good question. American literary and cookbook editor, Judith Jones, 1924. Let's see, Chuck Norris. Oh my gosh, Chuck Norris, American actor, producer, and martial artist. Oh boy, with all the Chuck Norris jokes that are out there. If you haven't heard, let's see, what is it? Chuck Norris's tears cure cancer. Too bad Chuck Norris has never cried. There's a whole string of Chuck Norris jokes out there. Let's see. Born on this day in 1940, Shannon Tweed, American model, 1957. Sharon Stone, American actress, 1958. Let's see, Rick Rubin, American record producer, 1963, and John Hamm, American actor, what's he in Mad Men there, and a lot of things since then, 1971, and Carrie Underwood, yes, that Carrie Underwood, American singer-songwriter, 1983. Did she come, was she one of the American Idols? She's so ubiquitous now, I can't remember. I think she started on American Idol, so happy birthday to them, and happy birthday to you if today is your birthday. Also on if you play. Happy Bagpipe Day to you as well, and Blueberry Popover Day if you're looking for a breakfast idea. On this day in 1876, Alexander Graham Bell spoke into his just completed invention, the telephone. Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you, is the first words that were spoken across a telephone. And in 1880, the U.S. Salvation Army began serving, and in 1862, the United States began using paper currency. Wow, was that recently? We didn't do it before that? Really interesting. All right, well, there we go, and that is what has happened on this day in history. He's been waiting very patiently there, meteorologist Tim Root, to let us know what the weather's looking like. Timmy, how are we looking out there today?
Tuesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies today. The high temperature about 65 to 70 and a west wind about 6 to 12 miles per hour. It'll be in the mid-40s overnight, partly to mostly clear with light winds. It'll be up around 70 Wednesday, a beautiful day, mostly sunny skies, northwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mid-70s or so Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny skies will continue. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 10 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:10 a.m. When we come back, we'll have your Fox Business Report, more events for the calendars. Are malls making a comeback? Is Gen Z saying like, whoa, don't get rid of them just yet. We thought they were all going to go the way of the dodo or become these communal spaces, and they might still, but Gen Z's like, no, hold my credit card. I'm going to take a look at that again, and why are bed sheets so tight? I know you woke up this morning asking, why when I go to a hotel room are the bed sheets so dang tight, tucked into those beds? Why couldn't they just use the regular sheets like we do? Well, we'll talk about that. We've got the Meddlers meeting coming up today. It is the second or the fourth Tuesday of the month, whatever it is. We've got Meddlers happening today, and Dave Johnson from the Lions Club is going to be here in the 8 o'clock hour. We're going to be talking about the Celebrity Chef event that's happening later on this week. I believe it's on Thursday. Boy, our dance card is full today. Stay tuned. Back with more right after this.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you that Chris in the Morning really is the best way to start your day. And he's not paying me to say this at all. Wink. And yes, he really is holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI Worldwide Headquarters Studios, Monday through Fridays, 6 to 9 a.m. Chris in the Morning here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. Now where is that $3 gift card he said he'd leave me for saying nice things about him? Man, that guy's a cheapskate.
Auburn's department store, McCullough's, has something for everyone. From the latest styles for men, women, and adorable kids' clothes and toys. They bring the best brands to the foothills. You can skip the big box store stress and the parking hassles. There's plenty of free parking at McCullough's. With quality service and that classic neighborhood feel. Save time, gas, and money by shopping at McCullough's in the Auburn Town Center, right off of Elm.
It's Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale. For a limited time, take advantage of 2 great offers. No interest for 1 year, plus save the tax. The savings are so big, you'd think we were having 2 sales. It's all about choices at Naturewood Home Furnishings. You'll save on living rooms, bedrooms, dining rooms, home office, and more. Hurry in today. Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale ends soon. Naturewood, you know, the building with the water wheel.
Tell them Brooklyn, Nova, and Orion sent you.
13 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:13 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Colfax. Currently, the temperature is 47 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 64 degrees. Well, as we're continuing on here, before we get to our Fox Business Report, producer Adam and I were doing a little bit of research coming in this morning, and it's Alexander Graham Bell's birthday in the 1876. He's spoken to, actually, it's not his birthday, is it? No. Today's the day when he, basically, the telephone started its long run, still being in use today. But I was wondering, wait a minute, got me thinking about, what are the uses around the telephone? I came across a video on the internet the other day, and it was basically older folks reacting to younger folks who were posting these ideas. Now, listen, I don't know if this is the younger generation, Gen Z, trolling the older generation, the millennials and Gen X, but if it was, well done. Applause to the younger generation for trolling us. And if you know, trolling is basically just trying to get a reaction out of us. But basically, it was the elder millennials among us reacting to this video where this younger person gets online and says, I have a great idea where what if we had... You've got a phone, but what if the phone was just attached into your house? So it just stayed there, so it was just always in your house. And then, like, I know in like hospitals, they can use the phones to call other parts of the hospital. But what if you could have this phone that could then call other buildings and not just inside the same building, but it could reach out and call other buildings. And you have all of these other older folks that are reacting, they're called reaction videos, watching this saying, oh, Lord. Oh, no, she's talking about a landline. How old are we? How old are we that this isn't even a thing, or this seems to be a brand new idea, something that's been around for a very long time? Yeah, in 1876, first came to fruition when Alexander Graham Bell spoke into his telephone, "Mr. Watson, come here, I want to see you," was the first words that were spoken. Now, when he passed away, I did not know this, when he passed away in 1922, every single telephone in the U.S. and Canada, all 14 million of them, went silent for 1 full minute in his honor. So did not know that. But then that got me to thinking, well, wait a minute. Now, I haven't, and as the kids would say, no shade. If this is you, it just hasn't, for us, it hasn't made sense. I haven't had a landline since my wife and I have been married, and we've been married for, 21 years this year. In the history of our marriage, I think at the very beginning of our marriage, we had a landline, and we were using the thing called a Magic Jack. Anybody remember the Magic Jack, where basically you would pay a little bit for this thing, and you could plug a traditional phone in it, and then you could get cell service, but I think it was kind of using an internet technology. Anyway, we tried that for a little while, but we had always had cell phones, and we always just went from cell phones from there, and have never. We tried that experiment early on in the beginning of our marriage, but for most of our marriage, we've only just ever had cell phones. And my parents had a landline. I don't actually think since they moved, I don't know if they even have a landline anymore. But still, there's plenty of folks who do, and plenty of folks who, if you think about it, who live in rural areas, that this is still their only way to have contact with the outside world. And I was wondering, what are some of the figures around that? As of 2026, only about 28% to 29% of American households still have a landline. To put that into perspective, back in 2004, that number was over 90%. We've flipped the script in just 20 years. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That was about, 2004, 2005, 2006, when basically it went more and more reliance on the cell phone. And then, yeah, we've just never had a reason to really find or have ourselves a landline. Although the house that we moved into, our first house that we bought a few years back, it's an older house, and we could tell that the people who had lived there for the many, many years before we moved in there took great care of the house, by the way. Great stewards of this house, built back in the 20s. But apparently, either they liked to talk on the phone a lot, or they needed to talk on the phone a lot, because there is literally a phone jack next to every toilet in the house. So you know what? Listen, why let any inconvenience in life stop you from chatting on the phone or taking a call when apparently you might have just a little bit of time on your hands? It amazes me even to this day that somebody would want to do that needed to do that had to do that. But yes, in our house, still there are. I guess if I wanted it, I could technically have a landline right next to the toilet in the house if we wanted to. Let's see. The script has been flipped over the last 20 years. Roughly 72% to 79% of adults now live in a wireless-only household. So I guess we would fall into that. Let's see. In the Northeast, residents are the most loyal to their landlines. Over 41% of people in the Northeast still have a home phone, while the Midwest and the South are much quicker to cut the cord. Now, when it comes here to California, let's see. We've got, I was trying to find the facts here. we're not cutting the cord. We're kind of in the middle of a legislative fight over whether the companies should even be allowed to shut down the old copper lines. So these old copper lines basically carry their own power too. So if anything happens, if power goes out, if you got the internet, if you're relying on that, you lose the way to communicate. So having a landline is still a necessity, especially for last resort California. Roughly about 500,000 to 1 million people still rely on traditional copper landlines for their last resort communication, and basically, especially right here, and of course in the foothills, if anything goes out, fire or anything like that, having that is still a way to stay in touch. AT&T recently tried to phase out its carrier of last resort status in California, which would have allowed them to stop servicing those old copper lines there. But the state is currently fighting back because so many rural residents would be left without a phone. So yeah, it's good to know that there's still the tradition. I mean, we here in the studio, right? Let's still have these landlines, and plenty of people still rely on them. And you think more and more. I wonder if, especially with Gen Z now, wanting to basically go back to things that were a bit simpler. I wonder if Gen Z is going to bring landlines back. This is crazy. And do we even have the infrastructure for it? But they're bringing some other things back. I talked about the malls. Gen Z is loving going back to the malls. We'll talk about some stats around that. Also, why just at a hotel a couple weeks ago for a business trip there, and I don't know about you, but one of the first things that I do is go, and when I'm getting ready to go to bed, is go there and untuck the dang sheets at the bottom. I gotta kick my feet out there, but why in the world do they tuck those things in so dang tight? We'll talk about that. We've also got the Meddlers meeting coming up here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have your Fox Business Report right after this.
This is Stephen Hill. Catch Hearts of Space, Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
I'm Taylor Riggs, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Kohl's says sales slipped in recent months. Despite an improved profit, Chief Executive Michael Bender says Kohl's did make meaningful progress on its turnaround, but Kohl's shares are down more than 5%. Crude oil prices have retreated from yesterday's highs after President Trump signaled the Iran war would end soon. U.S. oil, West Texas Intermediate, is trading under $89 a barrel. Brent crude, the global benchmark, is under $92. It peaked near $120 yesterday. Josh Schaefer, editor at Barron's Investor Circle newsletter, says traders are still cautious because they don't know what soon means. AAA says the national average for regular gas rose again today to $3.53 a gallon. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosola. Invested in you.
Who sets those high prices we pay for drugs? Now this one will get you going and surprise me too. Hi, Mary Jane Pomp here. Let's check out the planets with astrologer Mercury. Do they foretell or just report? To give us a read on life on Pomp Talk this week. And good friend and country music star Lacey J. Dalton comes our way. I'm sure she has some songs for what's happening. It's Pop Talk, Saturday 5 to 7 a.m., Sunday 9 to 11 p.m., and 24/7 at KAHI.com. A search for truth.
Here's one of our local advertisers to tell you why he loves KAHI Radio.
I'm Fred Penny, managing partner of Penny & Associates, injury lawyers. Our law offices are located throughout California, and we have the opportunity to advertise across the state. We chose to advertise with KAHI. Among our other locations, we see the advantage of reaching those who matter most, the local customers, through local radio on KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
24 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:24 a.m. Let's talk about another event for the calendar. Auburn's 50th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. That's the one that I'm talking about, coming up here on March 17th. at 5:17 p.m. in the afternoon. It's going to be downtown to Old Town Auburn here in Auburn. That makes sense. For registration and parade info, you can email Auburn St. Patrick's Day at gmail.com. That's going to be happening again on March 17th at 5:17 p.m. downtown to Old Town Auburn here. Join the community for Auburn's 50th annual St. Patrick's Day Parade. Again on March 17th, this long-standing tradition brings neighbors, families, local businesses, and organizations together for an evening parade full of festive spirit, creative floats, music, and Irish flair. The parade route runs from downtown to Old Town Auburn, creating a lively corridor through the heart of the city. Expect decorated vehicles, themed entries, and plenty of shamrocks as Auburn celebrates 5 decades of this local favorite. So yeah, if you want to find out more information, or maybe you want to be a part of the parade, never been in a parade before, you can email Auburn St. Patrick's Day at gmail.com. That's Auburn St. Patrick's Day at gmail.com for the St. Patrick's Day Parade coming up again on March 17th at 5:17 p.m. It's going to be downtown to Old Town Auburn here. It's going to be full of a lot of floats and things, all the Irish things, music, Irish flair, festive spirit, all of that good stuff happening on March 17th. So be sure to check it out. All right. Gen Z, are they bringing stuff back? We've talked about and read about how they just like, hey, I just want an iPod. Just give me a thing that just does one thing. Are they turning to tradition in the past shopping ways of shopping, or are they still doing the online thing? Also, it's Mario Day. We'll do some Mario trivia later on. We've got the Meddlers meeting in the 7 o'clock hour. And Dave Johnson's going to be here in the 8 o'clock hour from the Lions Club talking about the Celebrity Chef event that's happening later on this week. Boy, oh boy, we've got a lot lined up. Back with more right after this.
Runners to your mark. Set.
Some may see a sprinter. At the NFHS, we see a future leader already off to the races. Some may see a volleyball player. At the NFHS, we see a spike in confidence that will help her achieve her potential. What else do we see? Musicians learning to march to their own beat. We're the NFHS, the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and activities in America, helping today's teenagers develop the skills they need to become tomorrow's leaders. And we see it happening in communities across California every single day. Learn more about the NFHS commitment to youth at nfhs.org. This message presented by the NFHS, the National Federation of State High School Associations.
As we wonder why school shootings keep happening, someone is lashing out at loved ones. As we argue about legislation, someone is posting threats on social media. As we continue to mourn the loss of innocent lives, someone is planning the death of more. Knowing the signs is the best way to prevent gun violence. Learn the signs at sandyhookpromise.org.
27 minutes, now 28 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:28 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Auburn. Currently 49 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 66 degrees. Well, this must be Gen Z's day because they're really popping up a lot in the news, as they should. Like, as they're starting to come up here, get more and more as they're getting older, and their dollars are meaning more and more, especially to advertising and retailers and whatnot. They're making their presence known, but maybe not in ways that we would have expected here, in ways that we thought, well, of course, they're born in technology. They're going to be around technology. They're going to take advantages of all the things tech. And while that's true, like they definitely do, they definitely know their way around it. It is kind of surprising that they're kind of eschewing a little bit some of what we would say is like, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Like there's things that are so much more convenient convenient like that. Like we have our smartphones where everything is all in one, where you can do your music and your videos and your phone calls and your like. It's funny with our cell phones. Like the phone is probably the last thing that we turn to it, ironically, for it to do when it does so many other things. But Gen Z here, well, they're saying actually no. We want to bring back some of the old ways, if you will, probably ways that they don't even remember, that they only. Oh, how old do I feel? Reading in the history books, but here let's talk about another thing where they're saying, nope. Well, let's bring back the older way of doing things. Gen Z and Mall Madness, a new generation. This is from the Morning Brew, by the way, has discovered the joys of the Orange Julius. We remember that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, where there are all these videos of these abandoned malls all around the country, or malls where they're like, well, I think we'll maybe make it into, like other countries have done, into a communal space. So it's not just really for shopping anymore, but you can come and there's entertainment. And I got to tell you, actually, down at the Galleria, love that it used to be the Sears, kids. Gather around again for stories of the olden days. It used to be a Sears where you go now to play your arcade games down on the lower floors, and we go and watch movies. Actually love the movie theaters up there at the Galleria. They're great. The chairs recline. The popcorn's just fine, and they're finding ways to adapt. But maybe they won't have to adapt as much now with Gen Z. Discovering things like the Orange Julius. They are hanging out at the mall, according to the Wall Street Journal here. And that could be a lifeline for mall owners who have spent years trying to combat declining foot traffic, especially because Gen Z is spending big in brick and mortar stores, per the Wall Street Journal here. Shoppers age 18 to 24 bought 62% of all of their general merchandise in stores last year, compared to with 52% for those 25 and older, according to Circana. And this is, I think this is definitely true. Like the other day we went, again, speaking of going to the mall to watch a movie, because I don't know, I prefer it there. Actually, I could actually kind of like the vibe and the hum of the mall there. And I pulled in the other day. I'm like, man, this place is packed. It's packed back to where he's like, you're trying to find a parking space midday on a weekend. Good luck to you. That percentage represents a lot of cash, is back to the article here, since Gen Z's anticipated global annual retail spending surpasses $12 trillion over the next 4 years. Good Lord above. Thanks to Gen Z's enthusiasm, some malls are making themselves more social media friendly, while some online... I wonder what that means. Social media friendly, like places where you can take pictures. See, this is where it's the weird intersection of completely tied into technology and also completely tied into a more tangible way of doing things, like going down to the mall instead of just getting something online. And you know what? Listen, to the malls. Good on you. I mean, I know you're trying to survive. It's a business plan. It's a business, what you got to do to survive. But good on you for adapting and not just rolling over here. While some online retailers are opening stores inside the mall. So we started online. Oh, the convenience of online. Oh, we got to do brick and mortar now? All right. But there's still one millennial doing her part to call the heed of the malls here. A local mall in London suburb, Croydon, got a boost recently when Taylor Swift featured herself riding down its escalator in her Opalite music video. So malls apparently getting a bit of a comeback here, thanks to Gen Z saying, nah, we want to do it a different way, and the different way is the older way of doing it. Now, I'll tell you what is ubiquitous across probably Gen Z, Gen X, millennials, is Mario. And today is Mario Day. If you didn't know, if you take March, you shorten it down and put the 10 there, it looks like it spells out Mario here. So let's put together some Mario Day trivia. Producer Adam, can I have some of the music here? All right, well, that's 3 headlines and a line music, but all right, I'll take it for now. Here we go. Here's some Mario Day. Happy Mario Day to you. This is from the Morning Brew. Mario was based on a real guy. Which of the following was the inspiration for the Mario character? All right, hey, Gen Z, don't look it up. Don't ask Alexa. Don't ask the one that's gonna. I can't say her name, the name that cannot be named, because otherwise my iPad and iPhone will. I'll start going off wanting a response here. So anyway, here we go. Which of the following was the inspiration for the Mario character? Was it 1, Mario Segal, a landlord who leased a warehouse to Nintendo. Number 2, Mario De Luca, the plumber at Nintendo America's headquarters. Mario Torregoso, the newly born son of the lead developer. Or number 4, Mario Alfano, a famous Italian opera singer known for his high notes. So here we go. We'll let you think about this for a little bit. Again, don't look it up. Just guess one out of the 4 there, and we'll pay this off here in just a little bit. But it's Mario Day, so which of the following was the inspiration for the Mario character? Was it Mario Segal, a landlord who leased a warehouse to Nintendo? Number 2, Mario De Luca, the plumber at Nintendo America's headquarters. Number 3, Mario Terragrossa, the newly born son of the lead developer. Or number 4, Mario Alfano, a famous Italian opera singer known for his high notes. So there's your 4. Think about it, mull it over for a little bit. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, sports ball and weather, and also why in the world do hotels tuck those sheets in so dang tight? Yeah, it feels kind of fancy, but is that really necessary? What are the origins of that? Why do they still do that to this day? It's actually kind of interesting. We'll talk about that here. Stay tuned. Back with sports right after this.
When your mind creates an image, it's vivid. When your mind imagines a smell,
the bread, she's already.
it's as enticing as being in the kitchen. And when your mind interprets a sound, you're standing there watching the action. Radio, the medium that works with your mind. Radio paints the picture. Radio touches the senses. Radio constructs the vision you never see. When radio is used creatively, effectively, it brings sight, sound, and feelings to everyone. Use radio for your message. There's no better way to get the word out. Call this station for details. On radio, the medium that works with your mind.
And good Tuesday morning to you. It is March 10th. It is 36 minutes past the top of the hour, 6:36 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Newcastle. Currently 49 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 67 degrees.
Oh, Bulldog, have you met my brother Niles? Niles, this is Bulldog Briscoe. Oh, just the man I want to talk to. As a sports expert, I'm sure you can tell me why none of the local media carry the Ivy League squash standings.
All right, let's hop right into it. Sports ball here. We're looking at the NBA starting on the hardwood here. Kings did not play yesterday, but they are back at home today versus the Indiana Pacers. That's going to be at 7 p.m. tonight. So you can catch all of the action here on KAHI. Kings versus the Indiana Pacers, 7 p.m. All right, everybody ring the cowbells there. Let's see if we can light the beam. See if we can get 2 in a row here after they defeated the Bulls quite handily the other day. They were putting on a show there. See if we can do that again at home. Other scores from around the NBA yesterday. Warriors did play. They lost to the Jazz just barely, though. 119-116 there. Clippers over the Knicks, 126-118. Thunder brought the Thunder, but just barely over the Nuggets, 129-126. Cavs over the 76ers, 115-101. And Nets beat the Grizzlies 126-115. Going locally here, got the Auburn Journal in my hot little hands here. Oh, my gosh. After going on a heck of a run, Placer-Hillman, fellas and ladies, give yourselves a hand for a season that is well done. But unfortunately, after a season filled with milestones and San Joaquin Section Championships, Placer High School's postseason run came to an abrupt end on Tuesday night as the boys and girls basketball teams fell in the opening round of the CIF State Basketball Tournament. In Division III, top-seeded Placer suffered a 44-39 upset loss to number 16 Belmont Notre Dame. The Hill Gals used a 10-0 surge in the first quarter to take a 13-6 lead, but would be outscored 38-26 the rest of the way. Placer was one of 3 number 1 seeds to fall Tuesday night, as Buchanan and La Marinda went down in the boys' brackets as well. So, Hillman, fellas and ladies, heck of a run. Well done on your season. Give yourselves a hand. I know that the loss hurts, but well done. You can hold your heads proud. All right, we will be back with your KAHI weather right after this.
Hi,
Hi, this is Dr. Dahlia. Join me for my live call-in medical talk show that answers your questions right here on KAHI. On my show, we tackle issues like cholesterol, diabetes, women's health, children, geriatrics, relationships, and more. And with all that's going on in Washington, we even touch on government and policies.
Dr. Dahlia, weekdays from 9 to noon here on the Voice of the Foothills.
Join me each weekday morning right here on FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI, the voice of the foothills.
Tuesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies today. The high temperature about 65 to 70 and a west wind about 6 to 12 miles per hour. You'll be in the mid-40s overnight, partly to mostly clear with light winds. It'll be up around 70 Wednesday, a beautiful day, mostly sunny skies, northwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mid-70s or so Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny skies will continue. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Hi, I'm Martha Barnett.
And I'm Grant Barrett.
We're hosts of A Way with Words, a weekly show about language.
We take your calls from anywhere in the country.
And from outside the country, too.
About anything and everything related to communication.
It's a show about speaking and writing and why we say the things we do.
It's also a show about history, family, and culture.
Satisfy your linguistic curiosity Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
20 minutes to the top of the hour. It is 6:40 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Grass Valley. Currently 46 degrees right now. Looking for a high today. Very nice. 63 degrees out there. All right, we were talking about our trivia a little bit earlier. Let's pay that off before I forget. Like I did, I don't think it was this time last week where I said, all right, hey, we're going to do some trivia, and then totally forgot to pay it off before the end of the show and had to do it the next day. But today is Mario Day. If you're just tuning in, March 10th. Apparently how we decided to do that was shorten March down to MAR. Put the 10 next to it, and it looks like Mario. So there you go. Bada bing, bada boom. You've got Mario Day. So here we go. Just in the spirit of it, just for some fun, why not have some Mario-related trivia here from the Morning Brew? Mario was based on a real guy, believe it or not. So which of the following was the inspiration for the Mario character? Was it 1, Mario Segale, a landlord who leased a warehouse to Nintendo? Number 2, Mario De Luca, the plumber at Nintendo America's headquarters. Number 3, Mario Torregrossa, a newly born son of the lead developer. Or number 4, Mario Alfano, a famous Italian opera singer known for his high notes. So out of all of those, which is the actual inspiration there? Well, I'll tell you, if you guessed the Italian singer, you're wrong. That is not the right one. Mario was named after Mario Segal, the landlord. All of the rest were made up. So yeah, he was named after a landlord who leased a warehouse to Nintendo. So there you go. If you didn't know, now you know. And if you're for some reason find yourself at a trivia night tonight or something like that, well, congratulations. You're going to have one of the answers there and be the hero of your team. Here's something interesting that I came across today in prepping for the show. You never know from day to day what you're going to come across and what folks are finding things to write about. But I thought this was pretty interesting, and I kind of wonder these things myself. Why are hotels tucking sheets in so tightly? Just spending time at a hotel this 2 weeks ago in Denver there. Now we're going to be heading off now. My brother-in-law's getting married here this weekend, and so we're heading off for they decided to do a destination wedding. So we'll be gone on Friday of this week and Monday of Tuesday of next week while we go and celebrate my brother-in-law there and his new bride-to-be as they're getting ready to. We're in charge. We're in charge of one of the kiddos there, so that's going to be our big contribution, is making sure the kids get to where they need to go. But here we go. So going to be spending some more time in a hotel room there. I will check and see if you can bounce a quarter off of these sheets here. But why the heck do they do it so tight? Because it is, I don't know about you, it's one of the first things when I'm getting ready for bed is I untuck the bottom of the dang thing so I can kick my feet out. But basically, the origins of the practice lie not in hospitality, but in hospitals. And in particular, the hospital corner is what they call it, the method of tucking down a bed sheet. This is from an article from the website Mental Floss, by the way. Long before the elasticated fitted bed sheet invented in the 1950s, flat, plain bed sheets were the only ones available. And in hospitals where hygiene and precision are an understandably important thing, simply placing a loose sheet over a bed wasn't exactly ideal. Loose sheets might become tangled in the legs of medical equipment or in a patient's splints, supports, or crutches, while injured patients might easily take a tumble from a loosely made bed during the night. Well, okay, fair point then. Fastening their bed sheets down tightly using the so-called hospital corner folding method ultimately helped with all of these problems while simultaneously maintaining a high standard of cleanliness and order in the ward there. By the turn of the century, the practice had become a standard in the military too, where I think it's we all know that you gotta make your bed. Where, according to a legend, beds were made so tightly they were tight enough for a quarter to be crisply bounced off of them. It's not only an advantage of maintaining tidiness in the barracks, but gave recruiters another standard to aim for to be assessed by the way they basically handled their ability to follow, memorize, and carry out a series of instructions. So here we go. Why, with all of that, why are fitted sheets why have they never taken off in hotel rooms, and they're still doing it the way that they have here by tightening and doing basically the hospital corners? They have a long and somewhat storied history here, and their association with order and cleanliness and how they're showing up in hotel rooms today. But now that we have elastic sheets, basically, now that they are available, why in the world, especially if you're somebody who works at a hotel, you're cleaning the rooms there, it seems like it would make your life a whole lot easier. Otherwise, instead of having to do it yourself and it keeps rubber banding off the corner like we all do if you've ever had to put those things on by yourself and stretch them over and quickly run to the other side of the bed. Well, it's true that they are helpful, and that would be part of the reason why it would be an easier option. And wouldn't it save time for the housekeepers? It sounds like it would. At least part of the reason why fitted sheets have never quite taken off in hotels is cleanliness. And here's an interesting reason why. The hot water temperatures that are required to wash bedding hygienically aren't exactly the best friends to those thin elastic strips that encircle fitted sheets. Washing your own bed sheets in hot water every few weeks isn't going to cause too much damage, but the hotel sheets have to undergo a hot water wash every single day, which would understandably cause the thin elastic in the fitted sheets there to quickly lose their stretchiness and give out. Well, one, that makes a lot of sense to me, and two, the fact that they're washing the sheets that often and that they're extra hot there. Thank you, hotels, for the hygiene there. Fitted sheets are also notoriously difficult to press and fold too. Flat bed sheets, meanwhile, can be relatively and quickly easily pressed flat and neatly stacked for ease of storage. And that is to the benefit and crispness of hygiene and the relative disadvantage to the use of elasticated sheets. There are several good reasons why hotels have continued to maintain this tightly tucked practice for so long. So if you're wondering why in the world they tuck it in so tight, well, it's just basically the elastic sheets would not survive, and everything presses and folds and stacks better. It's just more efficient to do that way, as we have seen that things have happened throughout time, and apparently it's going to stay that way there. So if you didn't know, again, well, just consider yourself smarter today. Now you know. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll come back with your KAHI News and your California Ag Report. More events for the calendar right after this.
Sarcoma. Odds are you've never heard that word before. But for the 40 people diagnosed with sarcoma every day, it is a life-changing word. Life-changing and devastating because sarcoma is cancer. Sarcoma is a cancer of bone and soft tissue more prevalent in children than in adults. More than 6,000 people lose their lives to sarcoma each year. Treatment options for sarcoma are limited, and new therapies are desperately needed. More research and increased awareness is necessary to find a cure for a cancer that you probably didn't even know existed until now. Through awareness, advocacy, and research, the Sarcoma Foundation of America is determined to help those affected by this forgotten cancer, to bring hope to the children and adults whose lives are forever changed by a word they had never heard before. Please help us in the fight to find the cure for sarcoma. For more information on sarcoma and the work of the Sarcoma Foundation of America, please go to curesarcoma.org.
Talking to your kids about the dangers of vaping can be hard. Getting them to listen to hot gossip is easy. So here's some drama you could share with your kid. Dude, did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No, but did you hear that vaping can cause irreversible lung damage and nicotine affects brain development? Nuh-uh. You don't need to gossip if you want to have an open conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, visit talkaboutvaping.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
11 minutes to the top of the hour, 6:49 a.m. Let's talk about another event for the calendar here. We've got the Auburn Ravine Revival. And this is a fundraiser for the Auburn State Theater. This is going to be a CD release party. This is happening on Friday, March 20th, and that is going to be at the Odd Fellows Lodge, number 1226.5 Lincoln Way here in Auburn. Auburn Ravine Revival, voted Auburn's Best of the Best band for 2024 and 2025, will play a concert and host a CD release party as a fundraiser for Auburn State Theater on Friday, March 20th at the Odd Fellows Lodge, number 7. This beloved grassroots band offers a captivating mix of classic rock, blues, and their own unique twist on Americana. Featuring at this special concert are hot-off-the-press tracks from their new CD, The Dusty Road Sessions, a heartfelt compilation of songs penned by Rod Tompkins and enhanced by the musical and vocal contributions of the entire band. Actually, Rod's going to be in here on, Wednesday or Thursday? I think he's going to be here on Wednesday. He's going to be talking about the CD. He's going to be talking about this release party. Excited to talk to him and find out a little bit more about his inspiration there, how he got into this, how he's keeping the music alive here. And they're going to be doing a fundraiser for the Auburn State Theater and CD release party. I actually have the CD here in my hot little hands here. Producer Adam, we should have queued up the CD for this segment. We'll do that next time. It's going to be about 2 hours and 11 minutes. So make sure that they hit that 11 minutes there. It's going to be at 7 o'clock. Doors open at 6 p.m. $45 general admission there. And so this is all going for, it's a fundraiser for the theater. $30 general admission standing downstairs there. 65 VIP seating in the balcony. And 55 VIP standing in the balcony there. So they've got all different levels there that you can come in and join. And again, it's all going to support the Auburn State Theater here. It's going to be at the Odd Fellows Lodge, number 1226.5 Lincoln Way in Auburn. Tickets online at auburnstatetheater.org, or you can call 530-885-0156. That's 530-885-0156 for the Auburn Ravine Revival CD release party. It's a fundraiser for the Auburn State Theater. Again, Friday, March 20th, here in Auburn at the Odd Fellows Lodge. All right, we will be back with your KAHI News right after this.
I take care of the kids, and I take care of my dad. I take care of things at work. The groceries, the cleanups, the meltdowns, the doctor's visits, the family events, mealtimes, bedtimes. I take care of all the things everyone else needs. But I haven't made time to take care of what I need.
Family caregivers are often overloaded. It can feel overwhelming and exhausting. It's no surprise that millions of caregivers experience symptoms of anxiety and depression every year. But help is available, because there may only be one you, but you don't have to do it alone. Head to mentalhealthcareworks.org. That's mentalhealthcareworks.org to learn how to get the support you deserve, because mental health care works when you make the call. If you're experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, dial 988, a message from the American Psychiatric Association Foundation.
And here's your KAHI News for Tuesday, March 10th. I'm Chris Quant. Kylie to serve as independent, caucus with GOP. This is from Fox 40 News. Kylie, who was elected to Congress as a Republican, said Monday he has asked the clerk of the U.S. House of Representatives to change his party officially to, quote, independent, unquote. Quote, I will be the sole independent member of the House of Representatives, unquote, Kiley said in a news conference on Monday. However, Kevin Kiley said he will still caucus with Republicans because committee assignments and other roles depend on a party representative it is associated with. Kiley announced he would run for re-election in 6th Congressional District earlier this week, eschewing a run against incumbent Representative Tom McClintock, a Republican, in the 5th District. The new 6th covers part of Sacramento and Placer counties and presents an uphill battle as Kiley faces off against several high-profile Democrats, including Sacramento District Attorney Teen Ho, West Sacramento Mayor Martha Guerrero, former state Senator Richard Pan, and Planned Parenthood advocate Lauren Babb Tomlinson. In a social media post on Monday, Tomlinson called Kiley's decision, quote, a very transparent and desperate attempt to stay elected, unquote. Colfax approves funding for historic Colfax Summer Concert Series. This is from the Auburn Journal. The Colfax City Council approved a $5,000 funding request for the historic Colfax Downtown Association's Summer Concert Series during its February 25th meeting. According to the staff report, the concert series would be 5 free concerts from May through September on Main Street. Aaron Newington with the historic Colfax Downtown Association shared the series will be a circle of impact for the city to build community and drive people to downtown Colfax, and an economic activation for local business owners as the association aims to send visitors into Colfax's brick and mortar businesses and to bring rather than bring in food trucks. Additionally, Newington confirmed the association has raised several $100s through its community fund, as well as written $10,000 in grant requests. Next year's budget is a whole different deal, but it seems like we have adequate funds, and I'd like to move that we give the $5,000 for this investment, quote, said Mayor Pro Tem Larry Hilberg, as he stated that at the motion to approve the request. The council approved the request in a 3-1 vote, with Mayor Caroline McCulley submitting the lone vote of dissent. Councilmember Kim Douglas was absent. Back with more news after this.
The year is 2001. In the Rangatoa Atoll group near Tahiti, native divers discover a pearl weighing 603 pounds. In France, the Cathedral of Notre Dame mysteriously begins to glow. In East Africa, the small village of Nawambe is flattened by a pelting rain of chili dogs. In Washington, D.C., 5,000 winged gorillas make a graceful formation turn above the White House. Just another average day, and the people of planet Earth see it all through a fantastic communications medium that informs, educates, and entertains on a screen that stretches from horizon to horizon as far as the ear can see. Radio. Look into it.
A message from Worldwide Radio.
Continuing now with your KAHI News from the Morning Brew, Anthropic sues over supply chain risk designation. The AI company used the Department of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and several other government agencies for slapping it with a classification which is usually reserved for companies based in nations hostile to the U.S. following a clash about the use of its tech. The suit claims that the Claude maker's government contracts are already being canceled, and the label could also affect its contracts with other companies, quote, jeopardizing hundreds of millions of dollars in the near term, unquote. And Anthropic argues that the Pentagon's blacklisting runs afoul of the company's First Amendment rights, punishing it for disagreeing with the government and potentially chilling speech by other contractors. And from the Morning Brew, here's what else is brewing. 5 members of the Iranian women's soccer team have been granted asylum by Australia amid concerns about their safety if they return home. The Alexander brothers, 2 of whom were high-profile luxury real estate brokers, were convicted of sex trafficking. Ohio State University's president Walter Ted Carter Jr. resigned after disclosing a, quote, inappropriate relationship, unquote, with a woman. Uber expanded its women-only option for both riders and drivers nationwide in an effort to address safety concerns. Netflix has stopped backing Meghan Markle's lifestyle brand as ever, known for its fancy jams. And a woman was arrested for attempted murder after allegedly firing shots into Rihanna's house while the singer was at home. And finally, also from the Morning Brew, today's word of the day is patronize, meaning frequent as a customer. Patronize. And that's your KAHI News for this Tuesday, March 10th. I'm Chris Quant. Back with more after this.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran, to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
FM 104.5, K2A3CM, Auburn, and AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
Breaking news this hour from Town Hall. I'm Rich Thomason. Iran stands alone, and they are losing. The words of Secretary of War Hegseth, delivering a war update this morning. He adds this will be the most intense day of strikes inside Iran. President Trump says Operation Epic Fury is progressing more rapidly than expected. He predicts it could end soon. As the BBC's Hashear Jonadeh reports, Mr. Trump is threatening Iran with a devastating response if it disrupts tanker traffic through the strategic Strait of Hormuz.
In response to this gesturing from Iran, President Trump has issued a very strong and angry message on Truth Social, in which he's warned that if Iran stops the flow of oil from the Strait of Hormuz, it will be hit 20 times harder than what it has already been hit with. And then added that Iran will face with death, fire, and fury in such case.
The president says the U.S. had to take action against Iran because of its stubborn refusal to give up its quest for nuclear weapons.
They were starting work at another site, a different kind of a site, and that was protected by granite. They wanted it protected. Granite's pretty good, but they wanted it protected by a lot deeper. They wanted to go a lot deeper, and they started the process.
Iran, meanwhile, has been firing more drones, more missiles at Israel, as well as Gulf Arab countries. And gas prices continue to rise. As of this morning, AAA's national average for a gallon of regular, $3.54. That's up 6 cents a gallon from yesterday. The average in California, $5.29. The FAA briefly grounded all JetBlue flights earlier today because of a request from the airline. The ground stop was lifted after about 40 minutes. On Wall Street, the Dow's down 173 points, NASDAQ up 30 points. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hey, I am Brant, and her name is Sherry, and she's a friend and a colleague of mine, and we were just praying for her, actually, because she had a major surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is Medishare. That's right.
Of course.
Yeah.
So what was your experience like with Medishare and your healthcare bills?
You know what? It was seamless, and that's such a blessing when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were zero problems, and let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in, and it's just what you need. It's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. People love Medishare and saving tons of money. The typical family, I'm fond of saying, can save $500 a month.
I am so thankful for Medishare. It's so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way, Brant.
It is a good different. Call right now. They're so easy to talk to. You can get a price within 2 minutes. Here is the number. Call 844-94-BIBLE. That's 844-94-BIBLE. 844-94-BIBLE.
China reports its exports rose almost 22% in the first 2 months of the year, while trade with the U.S. shrank. Surging exports of computer chips and autos help to drive the increase. The export figures released by China's customs agency are much better than economists had been expecting. They far exceed the 6.6% growth in December. China's exports have been a bright spot for its economy. Despite tension with the U.S., China's exports climbed 5.5% for 2025 as its trade surplus surged to a record of almost $1.2 trillion. Higher shipments to other regions, including Europe and Latin America, helped to offset a drop in exports to the U.S. French President Macron has visited Cyprus in a show of support days after a drone hit a British base on the island. It was the first drone attack on European territory during the war going on in Iran. News and analysis, townhall.com. It began innocently enough but ended in tragedy in Gainesville, Georgia. Correspondent Keith Peters explains.
A Georgia high school teacher is dead after teenagers pulled a late-night prank outside his home. The Hall County Sheriff's Office said teenagers went to 40-year-old Jason Hughes' home late Friday night to roll his yard with toilet paper. It says Hughes came outside as the teens were leaving and he tripped and fell into the street where one of the teens struck him with a pickup truck. The 18-year-old driver of the pickup has been charged with a felony count of vehicular homicide. 4 other teens were charged with trespassing and littering. Hughes' family said in a statement that he knew and loved the teens and that they want all charges dropped. Keith Peters.
4 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:04 a.m. If you're just tuning in on Tuesdays, well, the second and the fourth Tuesdays, we head over to the Meddlers meeting now, and they have kicked things off. We're starting with updates from Placer County Supervisor District 5, Cindy Gustafson. Let's head to the meeting now.
Go paperless, so you'll see I have a pad. I'm going to really try to reduce my paper consumption, and my staff is all excited, so we'll see if we can pull this off.
How long is that flight? 24 hours?
No, 12-hour flight, but you're 21 hours off different time.
Yes.
Which isn't actually as bad as being 10 hours.
Yeah.
Because you basically miss a day or gain a day.
Right.
That was kind of fun. We did two days. Yeah, anyway. So you may have heard Friday was the closing of anybody filing for elections. None of our countywide people are in contention. Shanti Landon does have an opponent, and there is one of the judgeships that has a contested race, which is the first time in many. I'll ask Jim or Mike. I mean, I've been in the county. I don't remember ever voting between 2 judge candidates in many, many years.
Yeah, it's been I can't remember the name. Was selected.
Yeah, it's very rare. So we do have a contested race there and one of the judgeships. So that's it. The other big news of the county is right before I left our last meeting, we found out County Council Karen Schwab was retiring. And so we're in the process of discussing replacements. And that'll be on our closed session today on that process. But, you know, the person who leads our county council office is really a critical part of the team. The county board of supervisors only employs 2 people directly, CEO and county council. And so really important decision and process and making sure we've got the right person there. Last week, I was asked to meet with the Undersecretary of U.S. Department of Agriculture, who oversees the Forest Service, Michael Boren. Michael was appointed in this administration. He is from Idaho. He's a very wealthy gentleman who is at odds with the Forest Service on a lot of things. He wants to change things up, but we had a very productive meeting. We took him earlier in the day. He went and visited in Nevada County with some of the forest supervisors and staff. Then he came up to Truckee. We took him to Martis Valley to a trail and an acquisition piece of property, and also took him to the ski areas to see how the private sector benefits from good working relationships with the Forest Service. Talked a lot about the collaboration the county has with the Forest Service, how 40% of our land is Forest Service land, how important it is to us. that we get more forest health projects done, that we have more of a timber industry again. And it was very informative meeting. He was very supportive, and I think well worth a long day, but well worth our time developing that relationship with he, the Region 5 director out of San Francisco, the forest supervisor, and the district rangers. So we had quite an entourage of folks that were there. CAL FIRE came as well, and Nevada County elected officials were there as well. We're pleased to announce that the deputy chief, as Jim Hudson took over for Chief Estes, he had to then fill his old spot. So the deputy chief will be Ryan Westner. He was promoted to deputy chief last week or the week before, I think. He began his career in trucking in 1998. He's had many roles in our CAL FIRE unit, and he was Placer County's first fire marshal. So he has a long history with our area and is a good leader for our community. The gathering in stats as of Friday, the congregate shelter was at 92 beds occupied out of the 96. Almost all the tents were occupied, 50 of the 51. So a little bump there in occupancy. We've started work, our DPW folks have started work on the grocery outlet parking lot drainage, storm drain repair. And that's expected to take 2 weeks. So expect them out there. We're seeing an increase in trash deposits at the cardboard bins at Bowman Road. So we're just reminding everybody it's cardboard only up there. We don't want to lose this. Please, if you see people dumping other things, call us or say something to the individual. But we need those to be cardboard only up there. The Bowman Road Sidewalk Infill Project. SACOG has recommended that through its Mobility Zones Grant Program. That'll be approximately $3.5 million. And if SACOG votes on that on March 19th, this would be the largest award from that program and would take it. They spent 2 years evaluating 33 different projects. So we're really excited to have competed well and get that project. And that would allow people to walk from Bowman Road, from Old Airport Road to Auburn Ravine Road. And the county has about a $500,000 match in that project. Let's see if I can figure this out, Sophie. There I go. Next, we have, you know about the sewer spill that occurred on February 26th in North Auburn near Taco Bell. We completed the emergency repair during the weekend and restored everything back and did all the cleanup on that project. New from the county, we have a new online job board designed to connect local employers with local job seekers. So if you're a local employer, let us know. We can post you on that jobs board. And there's about 4,500 people that have signed up as new job seekers. So hopefully we can help serve as a connection between people wanting to work and the employers. And then we've submitted 3 congressional directed spending requests to Congressman Kiley. He will be submitting these requests. We have $1.65 million for firearms and gunshot residue analysis equipment. That would be part of our new crime lab. And that's a joint project with Sacramento State Placer campus. $1.2 million to establish a joint Placer law enforcement training academy. I'm sorry, not the training academy, the Real-Time Crime Information Center. And that would be the hub of coordinating all these license plate readers and all the technology that we have been investing in to have a real-time crime lab. And then $400,000 to support the Placer County Fire Department emergency communications infrastructure with secondary radio frequency. And that would really help us during these wildfires when you have so much radio traffic and cell service issues. And, sorry, I'm still learning this. We are seeking members for the grand jury.
Well, let's see.
You know, it's that time of year where we start talking about it again. The one-year term begins July 1, 2026. The deadline for applications is Friday, May 1st. Today we have a Board of Supervisors meeting. There's really not major issues other than the training academy for the Sheriff's Department. And that is going to be up at the school. And working with Auburn Union School District to use the school at $7,000 a month for lease, which will be a benefit to the school. And then it'll allow us to train not only our own law enforcement, but additional law enforcement folks. So we're excited to use that vacant school site for good use and move that project forward. The cost to the county right now appears to be less than $100,000 because we are anticipating other agencies to use our training academy because there's such a backlog in sheriff's training.
Is that right?
And our sheriff,
Is that Rock Creek?
yeah, sorry, did I not say the school?
What did they do?
Sorry.
That was my question. What did they do with Rock Creek? Sorry, I didn't pick up on.
The Sheriff's Training Academy.
So they could build a building there, or?
No, they're going to use the existing buildings and work with Sierra College to do a training academy.
In front of it, they're doing some construction.
Yeah, the sheriff suggests he needs to basically be recruiting 30 new people a year to fill and backfill with the retirements that are coming in their projections. So it's an ongoing issue to get people into the academy, moving things forward so we can get people on the streets.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
So it's not being used for anything currently.
Yeah.
But they're gonna charge the county $7,000 a month to use a facility that's empty. Is there a
Good question.
a way they come up with the cost?
I think we did an analysis of what was fair and they did. And the good news is a lot of this is being reimbursed through the other districts that are participating and Sierra College. So, but it's still your money. But then your school district is making a little money, which I think they could use too. So, yeah. We'll get a report today from the Regional Forest Health Department on some of the work they've been doing, the grants they've been securing, and the projects that we're approving for next summer. Tonight we have North Auburn MAC, and I hear you're cheering. Did you know that? Larry's out of town, so you're cheering. And we'll be talking about the Haynes Road Wise Canal Bridge replacement project, Studebaker Electric, Holiday Inn Suites, and some zoning text amendments at that. And that means at 6 o'clock, 6 p.m. at Cedra offices. Tomorrow we have a lab meeting at 4 p.m. at the audit report and some disadvantaged, unincorporated community requires us to do. Tomorrow, Auburn Kiwanis Club. We have Thursday, a fire ad hoc committee. Thursday night, the Lions Club Celebrity Chef event. Please be there. And next Tuesday, the board is going to do a governance workshop. And this is an opportunity that we try to do once a year where the board talks about how things are going with running our meetings and running the county, where we can work better together between our offices, our staff, and our protocols. So I think that's it, Sophie, unless did I forget something? It's good. My list looks complete. So yes, questions.
Under the guise of biodiversity, your gentleman coming out to talk to you about the forest land, is he at all involved with reintroduction of it? Wolves and grizzly bears are in particular into these forest lands?
No, he is not.
Okay.
That's not his division. I think that's more yeah, and probably not Department of Agriculture. He's an undersecretary of the Department of Agriculture over the Forest Service. I I'll have to find out what department that is.
You gotta work on that. You're
Interior?
hearing a lot of pros and cons, you know, the pros from those who want to, return all these animals back into the wild, and the cons from the farmers and ranchers that are suffering from it, so. It's just things that are happening out there in our world today. And then also just kudos to Morgan Geyer for having rearrested that.
Oh, no kidding. Look at that amazing.
You know, blessed that he kept a file active from 1996, due to the lax requirements that the state has implemented. A life sentence we know now is no longer a life sentence. And so blessed that he, kept that file active, that when the day that this happened, they could.
Yeah, and hopefully they won't re-release that again.
Well, if he is found guilty of this, after you're 65 and you've spent 20 or 30 years of your service, you can get out, senior discount. Hell, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good, right?
They should only keep me for less than 24 hours. I mean, hell, I'm in good shape. But irregardless, some of the rules that have changed over the last period of time have allowed these guys to not be released and have life sentences, blah, blah. Anyway.
You know why?
Thank goodness for our.
And I just thought, and then back here and then over here. The medical costs when we get older, and when you're incarcerated, the courts weigh in on your medical treatment and make sure that you get even better than maybe some of us get. I will just say, so that's part of why they're starting to release them, because they realize this is when they accrue the most cost to us as taxpayers is in their older age. That doesn't make it right. I'm not trying to, that's the excuse they use, but anyway, yeah.
You mentioned the Haynes Road, the bridge. What are they doing? What are they gonna do out there? Are they gonna redo that?
I think they're replacing it. I don't have the.
Widen that, or are they just gonna replace the bridge?
I will find out for you. Do you know, Sophie? Can you look up, my board book is in the car. I didn't look at whether it was being widened or just replaced as is.
20 minutes past the top of the hour, 7:20 a.m. If you're just tuning in, we're listening into the Auburn Meddlers meeting, as we do on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. That's when they're having the Meddlers meeting right now. And we're hearing updates from Placer County Supervisor Cindy Gustafson. After that, we'll move over to Auburn's City Manager Sean Rebay for updates from the city. Let's head back to the Meddlers meeting now.
Andy Flecko this morning to go out and kind of discuss what to anticipate. You might be, I don't know that the county is going to get requests from those affected customers, but that all East Luther Road all the way out somewhere, all that sector is going to be affected by that shutdown. There's still a lot of larger parcels in there that rely on that water.
And so PCWA's shut it down now.
It was shut down yesterday.
And then how long do you know?
A month.
A month, okay.
And that's if the construction goes according to plan, which we never know that. And in the event that March is as dry as January, and as we're coming into these 70 and 80 degree days, we're getting more sunlight, aspiration rates and plants start to increase, and things dry out, a little north wind, all of the above. My case particularly, I rely on probably 70% of my irrigation out of that ditch. So I'm going to be augmenting all I can with treated water. Probably going to be letting a lot of things go fallow.
Mm-hmm.
We were notified of this last Thursday.
Oh, really? Yeah.
So just, maybe just a question or two to see what's going on with your constituents and their customers.
Absolutely.
See if there's any temporary resolutions coming down the horn.
Okay.
Anyway.
Thank you for the heads up on that. I appreciate it.
That's one of PCWA's replacements under the freeway. There's a lot more coming up. Also, sometimes.
But they have significant impacts depending on the time of year and the season.
Sure, out somewhere to route water.
Yeah.
Got under 40 now.
But the other thing is, what happened to the proposed stop sign at Bowman and Luther? Didn't it come before the MAC at one time, I think last year? But yeah, Luther and that T there.
I don't know, and I will find out.
Thanks.
I'll have an answer for you tonight, because I'll see you tonight.
All right, for tonight as well. They're proposing the Holiday Inn up there in Bowman. Can you tell me, because people have asked me, can you tell me exactly where the parcel is? I know it's general area by, Motel 6 or whatever it's called.
You see a sign, there's a sign on it that says development pending.
I haven't been up there.
Yeah, yeah, so if you drive by, it's hard to imagine how they're gonna fit it in there. When I look at it, I go, yeah, how do you do that? But obviously.
It's very narrow.
It's a narrow strip, it's deep, yeah. Yeah, it's right across from where the old Denny's is and, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions for Cindy? Bridget wants to come in. She has an announcement.
Bridget broke her foot, you guys, so wish her well. She's working from home for a while.
She must have been skiing.
No, she wasn't. She didn't get to ski.
She was doing some landscape work, but she could tell you if she wants. Okay. Are you there, Bridget?
Please back. Good morning. Can you hear me? Good morning. My name is Bridget Powers with Auburn Rotary Club. I want to distinguish that I'm talking on behalf of my Auburn Rotary Club.
Yeah.
I want to thank the city last night for approving the Rotary Peace Park, which will be right in front of City Hall, right behind where you see Cindy, Steve, and Sean. It's taken a little bit of work to get there, but we're there. They approved the Rotary Club, giving them some money in order for us to put 2 park benches, 2 picnic tables, an umbrella, a drinking fountain for river, of course, first and foremost, and then for human people as well, and a bike repair rack. And so Rotary Club's going to be doing some repairs on the front door and the awning as the actually physically engaged in helping create this Rotary Peace Park. And then Sean and his team have agreed to put in the plumbing and install the equipment once it arrives. So I'm super excited to announce that we're going to have a Rotary Park in front of Central Square. So thank you, City of Auburn. I appreciate the council and Menjel and Sean for all the work you've done to help us get there.
Thanks, Bridget. I was supposed to get her on before the meeting started when the other announcements are, and I forgot. So sorry about that, Bridget. Anything else for the county?
You can keep thinking. I'm here. And I'll be here for the rest of the meeting.
I mean, she can give you a detailed description of her tour that's going on.
Yeah, I'm bringing a slideshow with pictures next time.
I can bring up one thing with the presentation of what we refer to as the SAVE Act, possible approval of all that where we have voter ID. Any word from the election department yet on what may or may not happen with that or how we would address that?
I haven't spoken with Ryan other than to find out what was the, anybody filed last Friday. So I will ask him about that.
Some of the arguments opposed to that are the fact that people will be disenfranchised from voting.
Get to have a car.
Well, some of it had to do with the inability of women to change their name, change their registration if they got married, change their address if they moved. Well, I'm proud to say that my wife changed her name and her address, so she was capable of doing what others think she wasn't.
Does that have to get away?
Thank you very much.
Get away?
Makes sense.
She moved away, or was she?
She wants to address that, and then I know Al had a question.
The maiden name and the name of the chain.
Rosalie.
Okay, I would assume that most people know I had a letter in the paper about the SAVE Act, and Bill Poindexter, the editor, called me the next day, and he said over 4,000 hits on that one letter, and it went out via Facebook or whatever. But I have a friend, not making any judgment, but she was married 8 times. Wow. So she said, if I ever have to change my affiliation, registration, she said, I don't know when you find a birth certificate. I need to get all of my divorce papers together to show why I'm called XYZ today. This is something that really bugs me because men don't have to do this crap.
Driver's license, don't you think?
It doesn't matter with the driver's
Oh, it doesn't
license.
matter.
It does not matter. They will not take a driver's license. Anybody can get a driver's license.
But I
You
mean-
don't have to be a citizen to have a driver's license.
Well, I guess we're gonna have a vote on this in the coming, and then let,
You should have somebody come here and really explain.
wow.
I'm just throwing it out.
Yeah,
Because
good idea.
so many people think, well, I have a driver's license. So driver's licenses are given out to anybody who drives in California. It doesn't mean that they're citizens. And even the Heritage Foundation, which is the most conservative group, they went back 30 years to see whether anybody that's not a citizen has voted. They found, quote, point, and then 5 zeros, 1%.
Well,
It's not happening.
we don't know for sure, but.
We can certainly have Ryan come talk
can have
about
him
the
come talk about it.
implications to elections. I'm happy to ask
I
Ryan.
was for Ryan, but we had Ryan Monco at our Democratic meeting a few months ago. And somebody asked him about voter ID and he said he didn't think it was necessary, but I
agree, I understand. It's gonna be an interesting debate.
It is, Al.
On a happier note.
Yeah.
And less controversial note. A lot of activity going on in my area in North Auburn on Mount Vernon Road. You know, we've got the town still installing the fiber optic, and we're all pleased with all that stuff going on. And also, at the same time, there's the PG&E people out there cutting trees and everything else. So just to get out of there, it takes you about a half hour to figure out
Yeah, you put some long
find
traffic
your way
delays.
through, you know.
Yeah.
Now that's called progress.
Right. It's called stifling. It's just that type of issue. It's just, you know, how you maneuver your way out of there in time to avoid all this backup.
Casey.
I had a quick question about that culvert over by State Mark. Do they have any idea how far back up? I assume it goes back up parallel to 49.
That's a city project, it's on city ground, isn't it? The culvert?
Ours is the one in front of Grocery Outlet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On State Mart?
Yeah.
Yeah, how far is that, where does that culvert go from where it is?
It goes up to, it's Auburn Ravine. So it picks up Auburn. It's part of my report. It's part of my report. I got a thing, you know, to talk about it. Yeah.
Anything else for the county? Well, it's awfully nice to have you back.
It's great to be back.
So
It is great when you get to come home to a place you really love too, so, yeah.
I really love the new technology. It's pretty cool. It's good. All right, Sean, how are things in the city?
Pretty good. Busy. So I'll jump straight to Casey's question about the culvert. So that happened Thursday, 2 weeks ago. Got a phone call from Menjel Dean, our public works director, while I was in Disneyland with my family on vacation. Not a good way to start the Disneyland morning, to get a picture of snow in Auburn and then a truck falling into the ravine. So that's a 10-inch diameter pipe. It was an old aluminum pipe that had rotted out on the bottom. And a truck that was going, fully loaded truck that was going up 80, got turned around because of the snow, decided that the private parking lot would be a good place for him to stop and wait for the snow to clear. And he parked right on that little dip and fell into the ravine there. So got a tow truck out there to pull him out. Council declared an emergency project last night. We had to go forward and fix this thing because we didn't want a big hole sitting in the middle of the ground for people to fall into and cars to fall into sinkhole. So council declared an emergency last night. It's actually been repaired and covered over now. So they actually got it replaced pretty quickly.
Those are big pipes though.
10 foot.
Yeah.
10-foot pipe. And we had to get the pipe from Utah because there's no pipe like that anywhere in California. The closest one was down in LA, but with Grapevine and all that, the cost of shipping it from Utah was cheaper than shipping it from down in LA. So, which is crazy. So it's a 10-foot plastic pipe, steel reinforced pipe that we put back in there. So the construction crew was able to get that put in pretty quickly, over about a week, considering what it was. So the water comes from all the way up the hill. It's Old Auburn Ravine, the creek, that comes down that hill and then feeds all the way through and then ends up down into the river, I guess. So, yeah.
And during the survey of the balance of that conductor of water, what's the rest of the pipe look like from the newly repaired to where it does enter?
So we fixed a portion of it. We didn't fix all of it. To fix the whole thing is probably about a $3.5 million project. The section that we did fix was, I think, 1.3 million, something like that. So let me see real quick and I'll tell you.
Was that all on the city's dime, or were there funds available through other entities to help offset the cost?
All I can tell you, Ray, is that it's a city storm drain, so the city's responsible for fixing it. The city's not responsible for a fully loaded truck parking on private property. And so we're going to be trying to figure that out with whoever we need to figure out. So we'll be following up with folks on that.
Right.
I can't find it. Anyways, let me see if I can find it.
Was the weight of that truck the reason that caved in, or is it just because
The pipe had problems underneath. It was eroded underneath. But having a fully loaded semi sitting on top of it for, I don't know how long the guy was sitting there, didn't help for sure. So yeah. I can't find it. But anyways, I think it was about 1.3 million ish is what the cost of that was. So long-term wise, we need to look at fixing the rest of it going up the hill a little bit. Because we just, like I said, we just did the part that caved in. The kind of scary thing was tow truck moved the truck out, so lifted him up, and then the guy was able to back out while the tow truck had lifted up because it was fully loaded. And then he stopped, and instead of pulling out, he was talking to people and complaining about how this, he parked in the wrong, whatever. And then Mitchell told him to move his truck because it was starting to collapse again. And within maybe about 5 minutes of the guy moving, it collapsed underneath where he stopped. So he could have fallen in twice. So yeah, not great. It was very much like a Marx Brothers. Yeah. Okay, it was total cost was 1.3 million for like 150 something feet or something like that. But it's 10-inch pipe. The pipe by itself was 350 grand. So
how much did you say the total cost on that was?
1.3. But the pipe by itself was like 350,000, 400,000. So, and that doesn't include the trucking cost. That was just the cost of the pipes. Bridget kind of stole my thunder on the Rotary Club donation. So as a proud member of Rotary, I'm happy that we were able to get that from Rotary. Obviously, if the city has somebody wanting to donate money to us, we're not going to say no. So Rotary donated 15,000 for the Peace Park, Rotary Peace Park that we were talking about. It's the little cement patio area that's right behind this wall. A little bit behind this wall. And so that's actually a project that was tied into the Sustainability Committee's landscaping project that they're taking out the lawn in front of City Hall and the police station as part of a state mandated you can't water non-functional turf. So Sustainability Committee proposed this project, very nice project that's going to be funded primarily through donations. And a portion of that was kind of cleaning up this patio that's just sitting there with nothing in it. And so we'll get some tables, benches, the water fountain that Bridget was talking about for River and people too. But it's a good kind of way to clean that up. And then when we were out there looking at it and just doing kind of measurements and stuff, we noticed that the awning is in pretty bad shape too. So it'll be fixing that with Nick Willick helping and all of his talent that he has for that kind of stuff. So good outcome for sure. And the city didn't have to put anything into it other than the labor of installing the piping and all that stuff, which it's a good thing. Yeah.
When I was involved with the committee there was an issue that came up about the irrigation. About it had to be, what do you call it, non-potable, because of the state laws on that. Has that been addressed? Has that been taken care of?
I don't think so, but it shouldn't be a big deal. There's water close by here anyway. Potable water. Yeah.
But the state requires the municipalities and government property use non-potable water.
The only
that was brought up.
Yeah, I don't
know how that was handled.
I don't know that there's no way for us to get non-potable water there because we don't have a water line for the treatment plant. So yeah. Let's see. So that's an awesome thing for us to get done. We accepted funding from I think this comes from the county for the Middle Fork project. So it's a fuel reduction management program. It's a grant fund, $178,000 for the fire department to work on vegetation cleanup along, like in the Roby Point area. So fuel reduction to remove kind of the overhanging trees and stuff that can cause access issues if we end up having some kind of an emergency there. So it's another good one. We got the contractor on board that we're starting to work on that probably either at the end of this week or beginning of next. So it's good. That kind of stuff is really important because we don't have like just funding kind of sitting around for that sort of stuff. So anyway, that we can get additional funding is a good thing for us. We issued the award contract for the construction agreement for the road maintenance project for this upcoming year. So this will happen starting in spring, going into summer. So that's just the paving of the roads that we do each year. It's $571,000 contract for the road paving stuff. Just picking roads that are listed in the pavement management plan that we have. The city has a program called, I think it's called Street Saver, that basically ranks the streets that we have based on the underlying issues with the road. So if it's got alligator cracking, that's like really significant, needs to be dug out. It goes on a higher level than if it just needs a cape seal, slurry seal, whatever that is. So this is basically a rubberized cape seal. Part of it is like up around Aeolia, so it's on that side of town. $575,000, we'll be getting that done. What was that?
No, I was just thinking that's where all of the who's who live up on Aeolia, right? Where are some of these other roads getting fixed? Because there's a lot of other places around town that need it, that have been set, they've had the lines dug up for sewer and stuff, saying they're gonna replace stuff down the road and nothing's happening. It's kind of curious, on your plan where a lot of this is gonna start taking place.
Yeah. So you want me to read you the whole list?
If you want,
Sure.
I can get the list from you later.
Okay, I'll read the whole list for you.
I was just curious what they're putting in your plan stuff for this upcoming year.
Yeah, it's in the staff report that council approved. It's maybe 15, 20 streets. Olive Orchard, Orchard Court, Theresa, Haswell, Forest Hill, Appian Way, Baltic Circle, Shockley, Highland Drive, Manor Way, Shockley Court, McLeod Court, Knobhill Court, Sutton Place, Andrew Street, Point Vista, Merrill Street, Cedar Street, Live Oak Street, Oakview Court, and Greenwood Street. And they're prioritized, like I said, through the Street Saver program that we have. And the reason that we do it based on that Street Saver program is to make sure that we're not doing what you just accused us of.
Is the plan that you have in place right now, does it show future areas that you're going to have done?
Yep. It's listed, it's on the website.
It's on your website.
On the website. You can go to it, check it out. And the reason, like I said, the reason we do that is so we don't have people insinuating that we're paving streets that council members live on, because that's not what we do.
Seems to be the areas.
What was that?
I said it seems to be the areas that they down the road. A lot of the areas that they've been replacing are out where you're talking. There's a lot of places out in South Auburn and stuff that need replacing too.
I'm not sure where they fall on that list, but it is on the website. You can take a look at it. Yeah. Let's see. We got Aeolia Drive Sewer and Water Replacement Project. That was a project that I've talked about in the past that we ended up doing in conjunction with the residents there through a tax. They basically tax themselves to place a sewer line out there. So that's been done and completed. There's a couple different issues that we got to finish up out there, but nothing really major.
That was up behind my house. Came right down the line where it connected, came right down behind my house.
Oh, right? Yeah. You're not on that line though, are you?
No.
That was kind of like the big stuff on the consent agenda. The biggest council business stuff, we had two things that were really kind of a big one. We had a unfunded pension liability cost management strategy that we talked about with council. And so what that is basically the city has put aside $1 million to help offset the fluctuations on our PERS costs. We're about 90-ish% funded on our PERS liability. But, because PERS has a tendency to not be able to meet their projections on their returns, Some years do very well and some years do very poorly. So there's this fluctuation that we have. The city actually did a pension obligation bond back in, I think it was 2023, 2021. So we issued $17 million of pension obligation bonds to pay off 75% of our then current unfunded liability. And it restructured that debt that we had. So we were paying like, I think it was like 7% interest on that pension debt. We basically restructured and refinanced it to a 3% interest rate. So that saved us on a yearly basis about $500,000 in purse payments. That was supposed to last for 10, 15 years where we wouldn't have an additional payment over what the bond was paying. But like I said, because purse can't figure out its investment stuff, it lasts for literally 1 year. And so now we've got a $300,000 purse payment that's come back that we need to be paying each year. This pension obligation thing that we're talking about looks at setting up a pension trust fund. It's called the 115 Trust Fund. So we're taking the $1 million that we set aside. This will all come back to the council for actual approval, but we talked about it in that direction. So taking that $1 million that we have, setting it up in a trust fund that earns a higher return rate than our regular investments through LAIF and CAMP, and then using a portion of the interest and a portion of that $1 million that's been set aside to offset that increase and that fluctuation that we see to kind of smooth it out. So if the council didn't do that initial PERS obligation bond, the pension obligation bond in 2021, we would be paying, I think it's like, let me see, I could tell you. Our payment right now is like 2.5 million total each year. It would have gone up to like 3.5 million. So we'd be paying $1 million more than we're actually paying now, which would further exacerbate the financial issue that we had in the past that we've been able to resolve. This pension trust fund helps even create more of a buffer, so we're not needing to use general fund reserves. We're using this one specific reserve. It's a really typical thing that governments do to make sure that you're not kind of impacting year over year and having this fluctuation with PERS because of their issues that they have. So it sounds kind of like it's a financial mechanism to get where we need to go and kind of like protect the general fund as much as we can and not having this stuff being paid out and earning extra interest. So that'll be coming back next council meeting, I believe. It might be the beginning of April, depending on how long it takes to get the documents all set up, because it's setting up a new financial instrument for the city. So we got to do all the stuff that we need to do to make that work properly. So
15 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:45 a.m. If you're just tuning in, we're listening into the Meddlers meeting as we do on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. We're listening to updates from City Manager Sean Rabe. Going to take a break now, show some love to our advertisers. We'll be back with more Meddlers meeting right after this.
Auburn's department store, McCullough's, has something for everyone. From the latest styles for men, women, and adorable kids' clothes and toys. They bring the best brands to the foothills. You can skip the big box store stress and the parking hassles. There's plenty of free parking at McCullough's. With quality service and that classic neighborhood feel. Save time, gas, and money by shopping at McCullough's in the Auburn Town Center, right off of Elm.
At Sunrise Natural Foods, those 55 and better save 15% every Wednesday, and everyone can save on hundreds of products throughout the store every day. This month, all Life Extension products are 25% off, and all MRM vitamins and proteins are 35% off. And if you have any questions, just ask one of their product specialists, who are always happy to help you on your health journey in Auburn and Roseville or online at sunrisenaturalfoods.net. Remember, when it comes to health, experience matters.
Hi, this is Andrew Twidwell, owner of ABT Plumbing, Electric, Heat, and Air. ABT has been in business since 2001, and we are thrilled to have been voted Auburn's best plumbing company and best heating and cooling company in Auburn Journal's Best of Auburn promotion. We're very proud to have placed as runner-up in electrical category as well. Our technicians are experienced and friendly. If you have an issue with your plumbing, need a whole house generator, or maybe your furnace isn't working, give ABT a call. Reach us at 530-230-9004 for excellent service. It really is as easy as ABT. ABT.
13 minutes to the top of the hour, 7:47 a.m. We're going to head back now to the Auburn Meddlers meeting, the Chamber of Commerce meeting, as we do on the second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. Hearing updates from Auburn City Manager Sean Rabe. Let's head there now.
And then the city manager reports that I always do. One of the things that I talked about was Famiko Wild. She's a 96-year-old lady who was volunteering here at the city for about 16 or 17 years. 96 years old. She worked in the finance department, helping to count bus money, and she worked in the police department, helping to do just kind of volunteer stuff at the PD. So she retired and is moving back to the Bay Area. And so we just wished her well last week, had a special kind of going away thing for her and a luncheon to let people know that, let her know that we really appreciate all that she's done for the city. She was awarded the Volunteer Award the first year I was here. So September of 23 by me and by Chief Canan at the time. And so she's just a very, very nice lady. She's about like 4 feet tall, but really like a bull, like amazing, like for 96 years old to be working here for 16 years like that. Really, really nice lady. We had an incident at the airport. So last week at about 5 o'clock, we had a 1946 single engine Temco aircraft that made an unplanned belly landing, which usually are unplanned, I'm assuming, on the runway. So as the aircraft approached for landing, the landing gear failed to deploy, and so they just did the belly landing there. Pilot walked away unharmed. The airplane itself is going to require significant repairs, obviously, before it can fly again. And then the runway wasn't really impacted at all, just minor scratches, so nothing major on that. They were able to get the aircraft off the runway and back into the hangar where it's supposed to be, and they will be figuring out how to fix that. I don't even want to know how much something like that costs to fix.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or tow.
Yes. Right. Yeah, I'm not really sure how you get that off there.
I don't know. Did it disrupt any other traffic?
I'm sure while they were moving it off, there was a little bit of a delay, but that airport is super busy all the time. Very busy all the time. And we've had multiple incidents over the past couple of years like this where landing gear, there's been an issue or an aborted landing that didn't quite abort at the right time. And I talked about that maybe a month or so ago, a couple months ago, somebody landed over on the landfill side of the airport. So there's stuff like that happens. Celebrity Chef, Cindy talked about. I won't be at that, but if you are not doing anything on Thursday, make sure to go to that. Awesome. Amy Lind will be there. I don't know what she's making this year. I don't know if she's doing chili or something else. We also had a significant police call that resulted in City Hall here being locked down. So that was on March 3rd. We had a guy who went into the police department to register as I think it's 215 sex offender, needed to register. When he was registering, we found out that he had 2 active warrants. So officers attempted to detain him for those 2 warrants, and he decided to pull a knife out of his sweatshirt and hold it to his own throat. Which is not great. Held a knife to his throat. One of our officers, Officer Silva, was able to kind of negotiate with him and talk him down, and they were able to take him into custody. But in that interim period of him with the knife to his throat, he was facing towards the door with nobody behind him at the door. PD was on lockdown and City Hall got put on lockdown in case he decided to run over and then run in here. So that lasted for about maybe 10 minutes. I was at a meeting and then started getting a bunch of panicked text messages that City Hall's on lockdown, and also not a great way to get learn about stuff like that. So, but everything worked out. They were able to de-escalate, take him into custody, and he is doing his thing wherever he's at now.
Did he threaten to kill the hostage?
It was himself.
Well, I got that.
Yeah.
That was if you move any closer, I'm killing the hostage.
Yeah. So when I lived in Jackson, the police chief in Jackson, a guy was doing that, and he shot the knife out of the guy's hand, like out of the leg, like just shot. I couldn't believe that.
Wow.
Crazy. So big thanks to Officer Silva for that work that she did. And then lastly, I talk about the work anniversaries that we have. We have a couple of really significant ones. Linda Stanley in the police department, 20 years of service this March. Aaron Ray and the fire department, 14 years. Dell Whiting, 9 years. Chris Sanchagrin, 8 years of service to PD. And then we got a couple others. Gretchen Hoskins, who's our finance director, 2 years of service all of those. So those people really make the city operate, right? So I just like to make sure that we're acknowledging them. 7 minutes left for questions.
Any questions for the city?
What? Ray?
Come on, that's not fair. I want an equal distribution.
Cindy, I'm gonna circle back to Cindy for a second.
Teach you to speak up.
Boy.
Hey, you owe me. You owe me.
You've been avoiding me for the last month and a half. The time there I'd ask you about immigration customs and the enforcement people coming into our neighborhood and how they would participate, and you told me that they would follow the law.
Who would follow the law? ICE?
ICE, yeah, they would follow the law. That was your response.
Well, no, I don't recall giving you that response, but I do recall that I said I would get back to the sheriff and if he's had any issues.
Yeah, and then my follow-up would have been state law or federal law.
Right.
I didn't ask that at the time.
Yeah.
I had time to think about it. That would be my follow-up.
Okay.
Anyway, it still is a question that could be worked on.
Yeah. And I've had a number of people reaching out on both sides of this issue, one of which is the acquisition of any warehouses, vacated warehouses. As you know, they were looking at ICE detention facilities and warehouses throughout the country and whether any of those were going to be in Placer County or the Sacramento region. And I have not heard anything back, but I will follow up on that too. Rosie?
There's been conflicting reports. Do we know that we have ICE agents around? Because I've heard of people working in restaurants in the kitchen and men just coming through the restaurant, going right to the kitchen to find out if there's any illegal, working. And then there's going to be, which I'm not participating in, I just want to let everybody know, there's going to be a rally in front of Home Depot one of these days, because there too, they're saying that, men usually line up to get day jobs and they've been accosted. So I don't know. I mean, it's just out there. I asked Bill Poindexter, do we have ICE here? And he said no. But
I haven't seen Home Depot quite a bit. I've never seen anybody out there looking for a day job.
Yeah.
They've been in the Bay Area.
Early in the morning we have, yeah.
The only like ICE activity that I know of in the city was at the Greens, Auburn Greens. I think that's in the city. And that was like maybe 2 or so months ago. And they went specifically for a person, not just walking around and trying to, we haven't seen that in the city at least.
And I don't believe we've seen it in the county. No. We have had warrants for people that were known offenders that ICE was going, and they contact the sheriff when they're doing that and give him a heads up that if they're going to be in the area. In the past, now if they take some other enforcement actions, I don't know.
I've also heard, I think Teresa, they have a Spanish mass, and a lot of people are not going. They're just afraid. They're afraid they're going to be kicked out. And I just feel for them. I'm sorry. They're here for a better life, and they can't even walk out without being fired.
Yeah.
That's their choice.
That's another debate, Rosie, that we could probably have here if you'd like. But yeah, I mean, we do have immigration laws.
One of this is AI generated news now.
Well, that's the other part of it that, I mean, all of us have to be informed that half of the stuff we see, well, as Abraham Lincoln once said, I saw this, I don't believe anything I read on the internet.
That their parishioners are not coming to church as they used to.
Yeah.
That's not fallacy. So
a lot of people that are illegal down there.
It goes back to the debate of do we have open borders or do we not? And that's probably for another day. And with that, thank you, Sean. I appreciate your, nice to have you back.
It's nice to be back.
Did you like this, Sophie? Thank you guys, we're done.
They're just they are, but I know, I go to the board.
Best days.
That's the tricky part, is making sure that.
Once upon a time, there was a planet called home. It was full of all kinds of curious creatures and enchanting ecosystems. Life thrived everywhere, from the deepest oceans to the tallest mountains. Home was full of happy people, too, like you and me. And for a while, the people lived in peaceful harmony with nature. But as time passed, the people changed. And gradually, home changed too. The people saw that nature needed their help, and they realized they needed nature too.
Is that the end of the story?
Not at all. It's just the beginning.
Nature needs us now. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/now to learn more.
Like most Americans, I like a king-size bed. But last week, mine was in the shop, so the dealer loaned me a sofa bed. You know, one of those pretty little convertible jobs, the kind with the optional piping trim and tasseled throw pillows. Oh, sure, they're nice, but how do you get them open? Mine got stuck the first night. I pushed and pulled, and then I did like I do with most mechanical things. I gave it a good swift kick. Well, what do you know, I said to myself. Next thing I know, the thing is out the door into the street. Well, I did what any sensible person would do. I ran after it and jumped on. Boy, that baby really took off. I've never seen a bed with this kind of acceleration. We were dodging in and out between cars. Then I saw the railroad crossing up ahead. Suddenly she stops, right in the middle of the track. Well, I realized I had to act fast. I figured I got her going once, I can do it again. I'm fed up with this thing. A brand new bed, it wouldn't even start. Imagine that. You just did. You saw it on
FM
the radio.
104.5, K2A3CM, Auburn, and AM 950, KAHI, Auburn.
Wake up, it's Chris in the morning light on KAHI. Your day starts right. Foothill news and a smile or two with a dad joke, fresh and the weather too. He's the voice of the hills, keeping it real. Local talk with hometown feel. So grab your coffee
Or hot water or something. Get something there. Here we go, and good Tuesday morning to you. It is March 10th, and it is right smack dab at the top of the hour. It is 8 a.m. here at FM 104.5, AM 950 KAHI. Come on, you know what it is. It is the voice of the foothills. Chris Quant with you here, holding it down, hanging out, I don't know, in beautiful Studio A, KAHI Studios, downtown Auburn. Peering through the Venetian blinds. It looks, looks like it's going to be a good day. We'll check in with meteorologist Tim Root here in just a little bit to find out what our weather is looking like today. But as we're getting started on this Tuesday morning, if today is your birthday, you know we love to do this right at the top of the hour. Happy stinking birthday to you. I hope you have a fantastic day today. If you were born today, you share a birthday with Judith Jones. Now, who is that, you might ask? Well, according to the internet here, American literary and cookbook editor, born on this day in 1924. Must have been a heck of a darn good cookbook editor to get the shout out for today. So happy birthday to Judith Jones. I don't know if you've heard the Chuck Norris jokes there. You know, Chuck Norris, he's a tough guy, right? Everybody, we all know Chuck Norris. I actually saw Chuck Norris, although I wasn't aware that I saw Chuck Norris one time. Walked into a restaurant. This was up near Amador or Lake Elminor up there. And I was with some guys. We were having a guys' weekend up there. Walk into a restaurant. I lock eyes with this guy sitting across the restaurant, his back's to the wall, facing the front door. And I see him, and I said, man, that guy looks, he had a hat, so it was covering part of his eyes there, so it was pulled low. And I was like, man, I kind of recognize that guy. And then we walk off to another part of the restaurant there. I get up a little bit later on. I go to the bathroom, and then when I come back, all the other guys are like just a buzz, saying, You just missed it. Chuck Norris just walked by. We just saw Chuck Norris, and you were in the bathroom, and we were all losing our minds, and you missed Chuck Norris. And I was like, what? Where was he? And they're like, he was sitting right over there. I'm like, well, that's the guy that I locked eyes with, Chuck Norris, and it didn't really change my life, but it was kind of cool. That's my one celebrity Chuck Norris sighting there. But if you know, you know, all the jokes that go around about Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris's tears could cure cancer. It's too bad that Chuck Norris has never cried. So different things like that. So happy birthday to Chuck Norris, born on this day in 1940, American actor, producer, and martial artist. Others include Sharon Stone. Yes, that Sharon Stone, American actress, 1958. Rick Rubin, American record producer, 1963. John Hamm. A very handsome John. What was he? Mad Men. He's done a lot of other things. 1971. And Carrie Underwood. Yes, that Carrie Underwood. American singer and songwriter, born on this day in 1983. So happy birthday to them. And happy birthday to you if today is your birthday on this Mario Day. Now, why is it Mario Day? Well, apparently if we take March and shorten it down to MAR and take the 10 and shove them all together, it looks like Mario. So there we go. We find one way or the other to make it any sort of day that we want to. So happy Mario Day to you. On this day in 1880, the U.S. Salvation Army began serving. On this day in 1862, the United States began using paper currency. Man, I thought it would be not that. Seems pretty recent for that to happen. And on this day in 1876, Can You Hear Me Now? Alexander Graham Bell spoke into his just completed invention, the telephone. Mr. Watson, come here. I want to see you is what he first said over the telephone, and we've been on it ever since then, haven't we? Whatever form it's taken. So lots going on today. And speaking of what's going on today, meteorologist Tim Root, he's been waiting patiently in the sidelines there to let us know what our weather is looking like today. Timmy, how are we looking out there?
Tuesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies today. The high temperature about 65 to 70 and a west wind about 6 to 12 miles per hour. You'll be in the mid-40s overnight, partly to mostly clear with light winds. It'll be up around 70 Wednesday, a beautiful day, mostly sunny skies, northwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mid-70s or so Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny skies will continue. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
Thank you, Tim. 5 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:05 a.m. Going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we've got Dave Johnson here with the Lions Club, the 49ers Lions Club. We're talking about the Celebrity Chef event that is happening this Thursday at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. Dave's going to give us all the inside scoop of where we can get tickets for that. Spoiler, you can get them at the door, but you can get them ahead of time as well. Stay tuned. We're going to be talking about celebrity chefs here right after this.
Because KAHI cares, here's another KAHI Community Bulletin Board.
You don't have to go to Africa to have a wildlife adventure. The Wildlife Care Association offers adventure, challenge, and satisfaction when you volunteer to care for injured birds and small animals. The nonprofit group is offering classes now for volunteers to assist Mother Nature in returning wildlife to our communities. Visit wildlifecareassociation.com or call 916-965-WILD and get your adventure going.
This is Stephen Hill. Catch Hearts of Space, Sunday nights at 8, here on the all-new FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI. The same voice of the foothills, more powerful than ever.
KAHI AM and FM is once again your foothills home of Sacramento Kings basketball and Sharks hockey. Join Gary Gerald for every Kings game this season on FM 104.5 and 950 AM, your home of the Kings and Sharks.
7 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:07 a.m. All right, if you're just tuning in, we were teeing it up all morning here. Dave Johnson is here with the 49ers Lion Club. Dave, good to have you back in the studio again.
Oh, love being back here.
Well, you're no stranger to
No,
being
I've
here.
been
Yeah,
here a
yeah.
long time ago. I actually had a radio show on here for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But
How about selling real estate? But let's get to the 49ers.
Oh, well, let's get to that. Yeah, we can relive the glory days all we want.
I'll have to pay a big fine at the club if I talk too much about my real estate there.
All right, well, we'll do that at another point here. But yeah, we were talking about the Celebrity Chef event. Now, this is an annual event that's coming. How many years in a row is
this? 39th annual one.
39th year. Fantastic. Now, we were talking as we were getting started for this, and folks that don't know, helping out a bunch of folks around the community, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But you were telling me a little bit about, well, first off, let us know when it is. It's coming up here this Thursday, but all the prep that you've got. People need to appreciate all that you do, Dave, to make sure that this happens.
I will be so happy when this is over with.
I'm giving you a chance to toot your own horn. Well, because I think it's important, because there's a lot of work that goes into something like that.
It is a lot of work, but it's so much fun. We're hoping to have at least 50 chefs. It could be closer to 60 now.
Wow.
That come and they volunteer. They make whatever they're going to make, and we have some stuff that we're not sure what it is, and then we have other stuff that's really good. And it's something that I've been involved with the 49ers for. I think 2012 I transferred over there from the Meadow Vista Lions Club, and this event is the most fun because what we do is we ask the community to cook.
Yeah,
we have a list. I sent out about 60 different, about 100 invitations, and go into the businesses and say, "Hey, how would you like to be a chef?" And they usually look at me like, "Are you nuts? I don't know how to cook." I said, "I don't care. Buy it and sell it.
Just come and support."
What we do is we ask you to come and support us, and if there's no fee to be a chef, all you have to do is bring some kind of. You can bring hot dogs, hamburger, whatever you want.
Okay.
The problem is it has to be made ahead of time because we don't have a whole lot of room, and we can't do a lot of cooking. No cooking in the hall itself.
Okay.
But last year we had a lot of so many different things, and somebody said, "Dave, you had a lot of meatballs last year." So a couple of people I've said, you might want to do something other than a meatball because there seems to be a comment about a lot of different kinds.
A lot of meatballs, yeah.
And I didn't realize there were that many kinds of meatballs. But I did try all of them.
Sure.
And you just come in, you buy your ticket, and it's only $25. And the good news about that, anything and everything above the cost of the event, Lions Clubs, Rotary, all of us can do this.
Yeah.
But whatever is above the cost goes right back into the community. We have to spend it all back in Auburn.
Yeah.
We buy glasses. We do hearing aids. If someone needs some help, we used to be much younger and we used to do a lot of yard work and things like that.
Sure.
But now we don't do as much of that sort of thing. But we can help you get it done. We have people that we can talk to and they'll help.
Yeah.
But if there's a need, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
The community, not that it's not a younger community, but there are some older people in town that need some help.
Sure.
What can we do to help you?
Mm-hmm.
I've given people rides to places. It doesn't happen very often because my insurance company says, be careful when you do that.
Yeah.
Okay. But, sometimes we can look the other way. And if the person needs help.
What in the world is that?
If they need help,
Sure.
I
love that.
It's a great club. It's a great organization. The good news is we meet at 7 a.m. every Thursday at the Black Bear Diner. That's a commercial for them. And, we have our meeting and have a speaker usually. And how can we help? What's going on in the community? What can we do?
Yeah. Keeping it local, bringing that awareness to who needs help and who's doing what in the community, and it's so vital for organizations like the Lions Club. Now, you mentioned giving the glasses. Isn't there a connection with the Lions Club, like a long-standing connection? Remind us of that.
Back in 100 years ago, it seems like now, when I was not there, honestly, I wasn't. Helen Keller spoke at our...
Okay.
Helen Keller spoke at our first it was international because there was a Lions Club in Canada.
Yeah.
First international convention, and she asked us as Lions to be Knights of the Blind. And ever since then, every club in the world does some sort of program with Lions. We have here at the Assistance League, the grocery outlet, and there's one other place I can't think of right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, we have eyeglasses collection boxes.
Okay.
If you've got old ones at home, bring them in there, or give Dave Johnson a call, and you can find me any place you want in my blue a car with my phone number
That's
all
good.
over the
phone
back
number's
of it.
right on the back of the car
Yeah.
there. So you see
and
Dave
I've gotten
driving around
some
town.
interesting phone calls about move over. You're going too slow. But anyway,
in real time.
Yeah, in real time. Yeah. Anyway, we collect them and then we take them to we started a program many years ago, probably 30, at Folsom Prison with the prisoners, and they would clean them and they would rate them and grade them. We bought them equipment so they could do that. Okay. Well, since then, the prison system has taken the program over, and we literally can do almost anything. If you have a pair of eyeglasses that you don't use, you don't throw them away.
Okay.
Go down to the grocery outlet in the store, and they've got a box they can put it in.
Yeah.
And that'll be recirculated someplace. It could be right here. Someone in Auburn might need glasses, and we can refer them to somebody.
Okay.
Or it could be there's some of our Lions clubs go over to the Filipino Islands, and they do. Okay. I've lost the name of the thing right now, but anyway, they do public service over there.
Yeah.
And part of it is they have an eye doctor with them.
No kidding.
And they'll take 100, 150, 200 pairs of eyeglasses with them and give them to people that need them. So we're repurposing eyeglasses because most of us have them sitting in a drawer someplace in the house.
As you're saying that, I'm thinking about at least 2 pair that I have right now. Some of my old glasses. That
We'll
I've
take
got
'em.
there. Yeah, right. And if you're looking for another home for them, now I have my backup glasses. I have
good.
my regular and my backups. But other than that, I'll take those.
Okay.
For sure. But yeah, anytime that you're at a Lions Club event. So for
Bring 'em.
instance, at Celebrity Chef, will there be a
Bring 'em
place
with you.
for folks to deposit them? Yeah.
We'll have a box there, someplace there, put them, go in my pockets if nothing else. And we'll get them.
Well, and I love that connection. Yeah, I thought it was with Helen Keller. It
Yeah.
was for so many years ago that legacy continues to this day.
It was the timing was just perfect for her to do that. She
Yeah.
was the speaker at the honored speaker at the convention, and it gave us an additional purpose.
Yeah.
That makes it easier to talk to people about what you want to be a lion.
Yeah.
You know, you can help people with eyeglasses. You
Yeah.
can help people with hearing aids. We can help people. Like I said, we used to do lawns and stuff like that. Now we find somebody to do them for us. You know.
Well, now I want to ask you about that too, because I'm very curious about that. So my son right now, through the Rotary here in Auburn, is doing his senior year of high school.
Is he going around in circles, the Rotary?
Yeah, exactly.
They get mad when I say
I
that.
was wondering if shots fired there.
Now we love them.
No. But because a question about that, because he's doing his senior year of high school through their international youth exchange in Japan. So he's in Japan right now. And it's really interesting to see the kind of the contrast between Rotary there, international, just like Lions Club, international. And he says it really is over in Japan. He said compared to here, he's like it's from all ages, people all over. It's like business professionals, and so like you're saying, like I'm wondering organizations like the Lions Club, like the Rotary, just basically coming on my radar now here in my 40s. What does it look like for these organizations to continue here in the U.S.? Is that something where folks are still getting interested in it, and will it continue, Dave? I guess is my question, because you guys do such good work.
The numbers are down, but the thing is, some of it's our own fault. We don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
You know, I keep telling all of us when we should do this. When we have a work project, if it's a pretty good sized project, bring a friend.
Yeah.
You know, bring your kids. My son joined Lions. You have to be 18 years old to actually join.
Okay.
However, we'll take your help earlier. Sure. If one of the kids, let them do the lifting and stuff.
Yeah, bring the kids along.
But Doug got involved with coming to our crab feeds and stuff like that and helping out, and so we encourage the kids. And it used to be just men. Now we're men and women, which makes it easier. My daughter didn't get to do a lot of that stuff. Okay. But my son did, and he's been a Lion now since he turned 18. He's moved around with his work and everything, but I'm going to go down to Tulare County to Exeter and install him as the president of their Lions Club.
Oh, wow.
And in May. And it's quite an honor for me to go do it, because I'm going to tell everybody in the club how hard he's going to work, and then he's going to have to work that hard.
You're gonna make some promises that he's gonna have to. He's gonna have to cash those checks.
For him, yeah. Doug.
I love it.
Both our kids went to Colfax, and we're just luckier than heck. Good school, and I'm the football announcer there too. So.
Oh my gosh, Dave, that's fantastic. You're just
I have
tuning in.
nothing else to do.
My wife graduated from Colfax. I love that. Talking to Dave Johnson, he's with the 49ers Lions Club. Around and about, we're talking about the Celebrity Chefs event that is happening here coming up this Thursday. That's going to be at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. What building is that?
We're in the Placer building, the big building.
Okay.
And like I say, we have up to probably about 60 chefs now.
Okay.
And I always say we line them on the inside of the outside walls, all the way around the building. So you walk in, and all the way around the building are all the different chefs.
Yeah.
And you come in, you give us our ticket or pay for your ticket.
Sure.
It's $25. But we guarantee you'll get a lot more money back than you're eating. It's going to be.
Oh, boy.
You'll leave there. If you don't leave there full, it's your own fault.
And this is do not pregame this, because there is going to be plenty of food there.
Oh, yes.
No appetizers, because the appetizers are there, but you're going to get a full meal out of
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Plus, I've got to imagine just a chance to just rub elbows with neighbors and friends and a bunch of people in the community, and probably see people who you didn't think were a chef.
Yeah, well, and there's some that shouldn't be chefs, maybe, but no. But it's and we have city officials there. We have the fire department there. Police is there.
Do they kind of go at it at all?
It's kind of fun. I have fun with them, picking on them and stuff. And the thing is, everybody's there to have a good time.
Yeah.
And then this year, unfortunately, the gentleman that we've had playing a little bit of music for us throughout the evening came down with pneumonia.
Oh, no.
But he's doing okay, we understand. But so we booked him for next year again and told him he can't get sick next year.
you know about it plenty of in headed, so don't get it.
We'll have some music,
sick.
a little bit of music there to keep people, and so you won't have to listen to me talk the whole 4 hours you're there. And the doors open at 5:30 to the public. The chefs will get there at 3:30, and they can decorate. Each one gets about half a table, and then they can decorate it any way they want. As long as they don't destroy the walls or anything.
Oh, there we go. And we were talking to Mary Jane Popp on Friday, and she was letting us know that she's going to be there. Her husband Rick, her late husband Rick, she's going to bring the fudge that he used to. Oh, if you've never had Rick's fudge, boy, oh boy, she's keeping that recipe alive.
And this always sounds interesting because with nuts and without.
With nuts. That's exactly what she said.
She always says it that way because we don't want anybody to get sick.
Yeah. She'll have it clearly marked. So.
And I guarantee I will try both of them.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think it's your responsibility.
Yeah, I have
Dave.
to. I have to. When I'm going around talking to them, I need to eat somebody
has to quality control of this food that's coming in. Now, I might have asked you this last year, but I'm going to give you some time to think about it. We're going to take a quick break here.
Okay.
Probably, I'm going to, how do I say this delicately? Some of the most interesting food that you've come across in your time there. I'm trying to avoid saying weirdest food that you've come across while you're there. Or maybe let's just say most creative food, and probably maybe some of the best food that you've seen in your time there. Talking to Dave Johnson, we're here talking about the Celebrity Chef event that is happening this Thursday at the Gold Country Fairgrounds. Back with more right after this.
Here's Jimmy J, DJ of the Stars.
BB Bumble and the Stingers, Monta Hoople, Ray Charles Singers, Lonnie Mac and Twang and Eddie. Here's my ring. We're going stop. Ooh, I didn't realize the mic was on. Hi, this is Jimmy J. How you doing? Join me every Saturday at 8 p.m. right here on KAHI. I have the stars you grew up with, some great music, and I promise I won't sing. So join me this Saturday, 8 p.m. for Rewind, right here on the Voice of the Foothills, AM 950, KAHI.
Catch Sinatra and Friends, Saturdays and Sundays, right here on 104.5 FM and AM 950 KAHI. Join Frank and his friends, Sammy, Dean, Tony Bennett, and more, performing songs from the Great American Songbook. Sinatra and Friends Weekends, brought to you by Naturewood Home Furnishings on Folsom Boulevard in Rancho Cordova. Right here on the Voice of the Foothills, 104.5 FM, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com.
I'm Frederick Penny, host of Radio Law Talk, the most exciting, entertaining, and sometimes informative radio show on earth. Listen to us live on KAHI, the Voice of the Foothills, every Saturday morning, 9 to noon, here on FM 104.5 and AM 950. You can also find us on KAHI.com and the KAHI app. Remember, that's Radio Law Talk, live 9 to noon every Saturday, right here on KAHI, AM and FM, the Voice of the Foothills.
Only 1 in 5 people with disabilities, including those with autism, are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work.
Maybe it's because employers don't know what kind of jobs they can do?
Okay, try me.
What about a programmer?
That is a job for someone with autism.
What about a teacher?
That is a job for someone with autism.
Oh, how about a healthcare worker?
Yes, those are all jobs for someone with autism. The truth is, qualified people with autism can do a lot of different jobs, but often get overlooked due to outdated stigmas and beliefs. Businesses value diversity, but sometimes don't recognize the unique strengths and abilities of the autism community. Introducing WIN, the Workplace Inclusion Now program by Autism Speaks. We help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring.
Ooh, what about a ranch hand?
Yeah! Sure, that's a job for someone with autism too. To learn more, go to autismspeaks.org/win. That's autismspeaks.org/win.
23 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:23 a.m. And hey, good morning to you, Forest Hill. Currently 50 degrees right now, looking for a high today of 63 degrees. If you're just tuning in, boy, this is a fun one. Dave Johnson is in here. We're talking about the Celebrity Chef event that is happening this Thursday. Dave, what time does that kick off here?
Doors open at 5:30.
Okay.
Our chefs get there at 3:30. Some of them can prepare some of the stuff there. We don't have kitchens. We have a big kitchen. We don't have that sort of thing, but get all set up and get ready to go. And then at 5:30, we open the door. And please, Lord, help the line be very, very long.
Yes, absolutely. All the money, $25, all the money is going to a great cause. The Lions Club just puts that right back into the community there. It's happening at the Gold Country Fairgrounds in the Placer
building.
Placer building. Okay.
The big building.
Yeah, the big building there. So they're going to fill it up. The food smells are going to be all there. Now, Dave, before we went to the break there, I asked you probably maybe what's the most creative or unique, I'm using air quotes now because we're on the radio for those that can't see it, food that you've run across. Now, I'll give an example here, and I want to give them a shout out because they're helping Mary Jane out here. We're going to be giving away a $100 gift certificate to Saki Sushi here, which just opened right over here by the clock tower in town, kind of where Tap and Vine, well, actually not kind of, it is where Tap and Vine used to be. And my wife and I tried it out on Friday, and it was really good. Now, I'm not really a fish or a sushi person really, but my wife got, it's the lemon whatever sushi. Blew my mind, Dave.
Wow.
Blew my mind. So it was absolutely incredible. So we'll be back, and very reasonably priced for the quality of food. It's high quality food, very reasonably priced. So it surprised me. Something that maybe I didn't think was going to be the most appetizing, but you've been there for years, Dave. Anything that you've come across where you're like, oh my gosh, that just blew my mind, and I had no idea that it might have been that way.
Well, one of the most fun, a few years back, some of the people you'll remember, Ty that used to own the Italian restaurant here in Auburn.
Yeah.
Great food. And Ty and I usually ended up next to each other because we fought the whole time and had more fun. But Ty,
and that's what it's about. It's about having fun.
And that's what
out
it's all
there.
about.
Yeah.
And Ty had these big platters or pans of lasagna.
Okay. Oh, yeah. My Italian heart is
and
loving that.
It was incredible. And I was next to him with my broccoli salad.
Okay.
And people would walk up and they'd look at Ty's stuff and they'd say, "What is it?" And he would just go nuclear. It's lasagna, you know. Everybody should know what lasagna looks like in a pan. But unbelievable, almost every one of them. And so what I used to tell people was, what you do is you get his lasagna, I think he called it.
Yeah.
And then you put my broccoli salad on top of it.
Oh, okay.
And I said, that'll make the lasagna taste good. And he would get so mad at me. But we would have more fun, you know, and fighting and arguing and everything else.
I love
that.
But
there's stuff there that I have no idea what it is, but boy, does it task good.
Yeah. And it's different every year, isn't it?
It is. Different people. We add usually 5 or 10 new people. Or some won't make it and others can make it.
Sure.
And I'm as the MC, I get to walk around and I try to introduce every chef. It also gives me a chance to take a bite of everything.
Well, of course you have to.
You know, and I'm required by law to do that. And my doctors doesn't like it, but that's okay.
Listen, once a year.
And when I weighed 275 pounds, it was a lot easier to eat all that stuff now. But it's just the people, it's their favorite, whatever they want to make.
That's good.
And there's desserts, there's main dishes, there's more desserts. And there's and all kinds of stuff. And a lot of it I've never seen before.
Sure.
But you got to have your open-minded. And what you do is we give you a plate when you walk in the door. We hope you don't ruin it on the first time around, but you can go back around and just go, hey, can I have some? Yeah, yes, what is it? And as a chef, ask them what it is. That drives them up a wall, the
Does
chefs.
it really?
Yeah. Does it mean you don't recognize what lasagna is? What do you know? But it's just a fun, and we apologize how much if you gain some weight when you leave there. But
listen,
that's
come
what
on.
it's all
It's
about.
going for a good cause.
That's right.
If you're going to gain some weight, gain it for a good cause. You're definitely not going to leave hungry at all.
Yeah, for all the doctors in the business here, we'll give you work. But it's
now,
just,
do people have a route? Do some people start with dessert first and then move through? Do you see do people have a rhythm to the madness?
Occasionally, you'll see someone come running in the front door, and they'll run right to a person.
So they know
They know who's there. They know who they're looking for. Their favorites there. But you just and you can get in line. We ask you not to be pushing each other out around and everything. Sometimes we get a little bit of people in a hurry.
Well, you got to get there before the food's gone.
That's right.
Listen,
Right.
You got to have the dessert first, Dave, before
go to the desserts.
so you got room for it.
The cupcakes, the fudge,
Yeah.
with nuts and without fudge,
nuts, yeah,
and all
absolutely.
of those kinds of things. But it's just a real, very relaxed evening. By the way, the Assistance League has helped us a whole lot by selling tickets. Swan's Jewelry is selling tickets, and also we're going to have a little bit of a raffle there. We have between 50 and 175 things that we'll be raffling. Or you buy raffle tickets, and I'll call your number. One person every time likes me. The rest of the people in the room are mad at me because I didn't call theirs.
Yeah.
But we'll have that going through most of the evening, and there's going to be some great prizes there.
You're the hero and the villain.
Yeah, I'm the bad guy and the good guy.
All at the same time. Now, Dave, I have to ask you. I've had the opportunity and the privilege to MC a few events in the past, and as an MC, it's a bit of a delicate balance. So I want to learn. I want to glean some of your MC wisdom here. When trying to get the attention of a crowd, it can be hard sometimes. What's your go-to getting the attention of everybody there?
Well, one of the things I did, and I'm not going to say which organization it was, but I did notice that and it's an organization that had different ranks of employees.
Sure.
But it seemed to appear that if you wanted to be in management, you had to be bald, looking at everybody that was there.
Okay.
I
think I have an idea who you might be talking about.
Yeah, we're not going to say which organization because they're still looking for me.
Yeah, I was going to say.
But we and just having fun with the people. And of the 60 chefs or 55, whatever we're going to have, probably 35, 40 of them I know the people personally. I know them well personally, so I will point out things about their food, have some fun with them. We have a bunch of folk groups there's about 6 or 8 different ones that'll be grouped together that are more agricultural type of things. And we have another group that's kind of insurance. It's kind of fun that just
almost come as little tribes that are inside.
One of them that's not participating anymore because the company policy has changed a little bit. But I used to kid them that we could, look, let's see what they've got, what they pick up in the trash cans this week that they're serving. So we have some fun. I have some fun with it. But I really do, and maybe I should apologize right now in case I do offend anybody. It's not intentional.
Well, and kind of in the moment. That's true.
My sick sense of humor.
Well, and you're trying to have some fun, and everybody's having a good time. And if you can't just tell by listening to Dave, you're going to be in for a good time there when you're heading to the Celebrity Chef event. Dave, we're getting close to the end here. Can you just remind us again? Just give us all the details again, because folks can get tickets ahead of time, but they can also get them at the door.
Yes.
So kind of the who, what, where, and when.
Okay. You can, if you have time to go before, you can go over to the Assistance League to their shop over there on 49, or you can go into Margarita and Ben's, the Golden Swan there, the jewelry store in downtown, or just get in line and we'll sell them to you there.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And doors will open at 5:30. The line starts forming about 5. And hopefully the longer it is, the happier we are, because the more money we make, the more help we can do to the community. Whether we used to do the gardening work ourselves. We have gardeners that'll work for us. It'll give us a really good deal for the seniors that have to get their lawns. The people, get complaints. We'll help with eyeglasses, hearing aids, pretty much anything you need If we can, we'll do it. And if we can't, I'll refer you to somebody else that maybe can do it.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of you ask and we'll do.
Sure. Yeah. We'll figure out a way to do it.
Figure out a way to do it.
Absolutely. I love that. The spirit of that, the heart of that, for the good of the community, in service of the community is always important and so needed, especially in these days and times, Dave. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing for the Celebrity Chef event that is happening this Thursday, the 12th. It's going to be at 5 o'clock. Doors open at 5:30. So start getting there early. Plenty of food to go around, I'm guessing. So
if you're there by 5:30, you should be able to eat. If you're there by 6:30, it could be trouble.
It could be trouble. So yeah, don't be late. And like
Get
you
there
said,
early.
people, it's like when the doors open on Black Friday, there and they just run for to the section
out.
that they know that they're going to get that deal. They are going to be there. So again, this helping. If you've got some spare eyeglasses, please bring them. Yeah, bring them with them. They will be put to good use for folks that need them. Again, Celebrity Chef, our own Mary Jane Pop is going to be there. She's got Rick's famous fudge is going to be there, and Dave with or
without nuts.
There we go. And we're going to be giving away a $100 gift certificate to Saki Sushi here. I have tried it. I can verify. Not a sponsor of the show, but if they wanted to be, I wouldn't complain.
And there'll be over 50 raffle prizes, probably,
fantastic,
and all that sort of stuff. Buy some raffle tickets. That all helps us out.
Yeah.
So that we can help the community out.
Love it. I absolutely
we serve.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely. Dave, I'm looking forward to when we talk again here. This has been a good time, sir.
All right. It's been fun. Yeah.
I always enjoy having you in here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap everything up right after this.
Hey there, KAHI listeners. Producer Adam here to remind you that Chris in the Morning really is the best way to start your day. And he's not paying me to say this at all. Wink. And yes, he really is holding it down in beautiful Studio A in the KAHI Worldwide Headquarters Studios, Monday through Fridays, 6 to 9 a.m. Chris in the Morning here on FM 104.5, AM 950, and streaming all over the world at KAHI.com. Now, where is that $3 gift card he said he'd leave me for saying nice things about him? Man, that guy's a cheapskate.
Tuesday weather forecast is calling for mostly sunny skies today. The high temperature about 65 to 70 and a west wind about 6 to 12 miles per hour. It'll be in the mid-40s overnight, partly to mostly clear with light winds. It'll be up around 70 Wednesday, a beautiful day, mostly sunny skies, northwest wind about 10 miles per hour. Mid-70s or so Thursday and Friday, mostly sunny skies will continue. This is meteorologist Tim Root from FM 104.5 and AM 950 KAHI.
34 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:34 a.m. Well, that was a whole lot of fun. Having Dave in here is never not a good time. So again, the Celebrity Chef event, our very own Mary Jane Pop is going to be there this Thursday. Doors open at 5:30. Get there at 5 though if you want to. All the money goes to help great causes here in our community. $25 a person. You won't be disappointed. Until we see each other again early tomorrow morning, as always, remember to be kind, be honest, be yourself, and remember, you can't hate somebody if you're hugging them. Again, if today is your birthday, well then happy stinking birthday to you. Hope you have a fantastic day today. We're going to head off now to JT in the Morning, already in progress. And again, I'll see you here bright and early tomorrow morning.
Something, and he was asked about this at Doral yesterday.
Internal, given that you just said that their leadership has been
I like the
decimated and
idea of
wiped out.
internal and eternal. Come to think of it, but I like the idea of internal. Because it works well. I mean, I think we've proven that so far in Venezuela. We have a woman, Delcy, who has been, president of the country, very respected, she's doing a great job. And it's, no disruption.
You have called him an unacceptable choice. So does he have a target on his back? How can you say
I don't want to say whether or not he does, because that would be inappropriate. But, hey, look, I had a target on my back because, as you people wrote pretty well, they caught the assassin that was after me. So we just got them first, but they...
So the question remains, and of course the headline on that story is all Trump brags about being an assassin, whatever. It doesn't actually quote the salient answer to his question.
She was just so helpful, and it was the lemon or something other roll that they had.
We talk frequently about the pedantic representation of what happened 250 years ago. And there's reasons that what happened in France is different than what happened in the United States. So in the United States, the colonies took legal measures to declare that they no longer recognized the government of Britain as the legitimate government of these colonies, and immediately sat a colonial government to oversee the actions within, especially military, of course. And then the battle we had with the British was a battle of ousting an occupying force. We no longer recognize your authority, so your army in our country is an occupying force. This has been a problem that has truly dogged the United States. When we've gone in to liberate a country, eventually the anti-American voices within those countries say they're just an occupying force. And there's a reality to that, not just that which driven by Russian disinformation. So you don't want to be an occupying army, and I don't think Trump wants to be an occupying army. His actions have not inferred that he likes being an occupying army.
Sure.
So,
And for the kids too. The kiddos sometimes they can't get it there for sure. Yeah.
how do I put this in a way that is the most, I don't want to get lost into analogies, but I have said frequently for habitual users of this program, I would have been really interested to hear what talk radio would have sounded like during the American battle for sovereignty, the battle to oust the British from our shores. I can hear a talk show host saying, again, the United States, the colonial army, they got routed. Nathaniel Greene is being routed all the way down the James River. He's going to be in Yorktown soon, and Cornwallis is just waiting for him in Yorktown. We need a change. Washington isn't getting it done. Washington hasn't won a third of the battles in this. We're just getting our clocks cleaned by these guys. I mean, I could hear what talk radio would sound like. To be fair, that sounds more like sports talk radio, but you get the idea. We don't know what we don't know. I have whispers about, people who are being trained up in what it means to have a Second Amendment right to stand up to tyranny. Is that unfair? Do we believe that Iranian citizens, just like United States citizens, have a God-given right to defend themselves and to bear arms? Their culture hasn't allowed that for a long time. So are there boots on the ground teaching people how to, be that militia? Because the hard part about overthrowing a tyrannical dictatorship is the tyranny doesn't leave you a lot of time to meet in the cornfield and practice your rifle shooting. Because it becomes pretty clear pretty quick. So that's just one of the many things we've been into this morning on this. Jack writes in, you're right. It's amazing to me how guys like Cory Booker act like they're the Senate leadership when they're 7 seats to the minority. I don't know if it's 7 seats. There's like 6 seats in the minority. They're not quite to the cloture they need. But because they know how to do it, and they go out there and they're not afraid to do it. Our friend Tom Garrett from the Virginia House of Delegates has said frequently, Democrats aren't afraid to lie, but Republicans are afraid to call them on the truth. And we have to change that. And I think some of it is that elected Republicans count on talk radio just to gin up their base for them. And then they can play moderate for the middle of the road folks who don't listen to talk radio but can be persuaded by lower taxes, a couple of bills about property ownership or whatever, and then they vote for the standard issue Republican. Never mind the 20 million extra voters that Chuck Schumer was talking about when he was caught on a hot mic there at a press conference saying,
"The SAVE Act is Jim Crow 2.0. More than 20 million people would lose their right to vote."
As Scott in Virginia Beach pointed out, he said people, not citizens. That's intentional. It's the same way that to take Jake from Minnesota, from Minneapolis, the mayor keeps talking about the folks who live in our city. They're not talking about citizens. They're talking about these abstract people who are here, so let's just accept them.
You clean up voter rolls, and purple states are red and blue states are purple.
Huh?
And that's just the way that is. So here's the thing about what your legislature wants to do right now, Joe. And, come on, be reasonable for a minute. They just want to temporarily suspend your Constitution.
Right.
So they can get permanent power.
Right.
That's all.
Right, and you can have the Constitution back once they have permanent power.
Well, they can permanently change it.
Well, yeah, there's that too. Yeah, who has to worry about putting it back?
And who's going to stop them?
That's the biggest question, and that's one of the points of the Cory Booker story, is that here's a guy who has no lever of authority by the basis of his elected position, acting like he runs the Senate right now, because he knows that there are procedures designed to protect the minority voice, yet Republicans never like using those.
Hi, I'm Mark Falter with the Financial Fitness Show. Have you been keeping up on the big, beautiful bill? If you are over the age of 60, everything you thought you knew about taxes and tax preparation has just done a big shift. So if you want to get more information on how the big, beautiful bill applies to you, I welcome you to call and ask for the Tax Reform Kit. It's got several things in it pertaining to your taxes. A booklet titled Take Charge of Your Taxes, Tax Strategies, several things in it. 866-764-2635. Again, 866-764-2635. The Tax Reform Kit. Again, 866-764-2635. Again, 866-764-2635.